the valley, they'll turn it loud. Miami's pride, make us proud. CanesWear crew, you hear the crowd. Hurricanes ain't backing down. Every play, every score, raising bets and raising roar. Rocking orange, green galore. All for one and one for four. We got FTSN, taking names, win it again. Podcast fam, till the end. Tune in, now let's begin.
Hello and welcome to the CanesWear podcast. And I think today is September 10th, 2025. The Canes, as we know, are 2-0 after taking down Notre Dame and then the mighty Bethune-Cookman in a major struggle. But great way to start the season 2-0. We've got USF, and nobody thought USF would be 2-0 after beating two ranked teams. So that's kind of exciting, Gio. So we got a big game coming up. Everybody thought everyone thought USF was going to be a trap game, and now Florida may be the trap game for the next between these two, FSU and USF. But take them one at a time. The Canes are 2-0. We're very excited. It's a great day. Like and subscribe. The FTSN network. Bobby and the team do a fantastic job. And of course, we are brought to you by CanesWear, the spot, Miami fan shop, and we got lots of stuff going on CanesWear. Gio, did you know we have Willis McGahee and Brian McKinney coming to the store? We just announced it 2 days ago. It's going to be a meet and greet, but they're really there to go ahead and promote a Bahamas trip. So if you're a Canes fan, and you want to go to the Bahamas and you want to hang out with a bunch of Canes, you can go to our website and you can go ahead and link in there, and it's going to be a fun weekend. So check that out. And if you're in the area and you want to come meet Willis or Brian tomorrow from 6 to 8, you can come meet them. You can hang out. I think they're going to be serving some drinks there, a company that we're having over there. Plus, you can get their autographs for $25 combined. And it's just $25 to the Dolphins Cancer Challenge, the Dolphins Challenge Cancer. So a lot going on, a lot of talking. So I will introduce you guys who needs no introduction to the man, the myth, the legend, the star of South Florida sports, Gio Milian. Welcome to the show, Gio.
Thank you, Brett. Love the introduction. By the way, really fun time at CanesWear tomorrow, as you mentioned, with Brian McKinney and Willis McGahee being out there. I highly suggest for Cane fans to go out there, get your autographs, get to talk with those guys. Very personable people. I've been around them before in the past, rubbed some elbows with them at other events. Great guys overall, and national champions as well. They were. Exactly. So I will say, though, to kick things off, when it comes to USF, I'm not buying the hype. I'm here to tell people that I think Miami is going to roll over them. I've looked through all the metrics, and yes, it's only 2 games in. They played 2 ranked teams. Boise State is not the same Boise State that they were last season, with a Heisman Trophy finalist and Ashton Genty. They're a shell of the team that they were compared to last season. And then Florida, let me put it this way. USF only pressured Florida. They got pressure on DJ Lagway 3 times in that game, and somehow they still came out with that win. And the most jarring statistic of everything, because I see Duck down here in the comments with a very good question. He always asks us about establishing the run game. He said here, Gio, will we run the ball on early downs for positive yards in the first half? Duck, I am here to tell you, yes. I think Miami is going to have a lot of success on the ground against USF. They have 36 missed tackles through 2 games. 36 missed tackles through 2 games to open your season is terrible. Terrible tackling. Any way you want to spin it or say it or whatever, yes. USF has won those first 2 games, but are these Florida and Boise State teams, are they even any good? There's a lot of questions that could be raised about them.
No, I agree. A friend of mine, I went to USF, as I mentioned, way before they had a football team. And when I went to USF, USF had the second highest scoring basketball player, Charlie Bradley, in the country. Robin Roberts, who was a Hall of Fame baseball player with the Phillies. He was the coach of the team, and there was no football. And I was a huge Cane fan no matter what. So people say, you're rooting for USF? I said, really? I don't root for USF in basketball against us. And I was actually there when we were good. So it's all about the orange and green. I bleed it in the heart, in the pocket, everywhere. So, but yes, I agree with you. My buddy Clark I was talking to, and we've got a few shingles on the Canes to win it all. Not that it wouldn't be success if they win anyway for CanesWear and me in the store and all the fans, but it's fun to have something extra on it. But both think we should be able to beat them pretty badly. I mean, and obviously the odds makers think so too. It's 15 points. And I know the Gators were 17-point favorites. We're 15. I just think our offensive line, and maybe I give us too much credit. I think
the line's actually moved even more.
Is it really?
I checked it a couple hours ago before we got on here. It's sitting at 17.5 right now, at least on Hard Rock Bet locally.
It's 17.5 now. I had the 5.5 points with USF on the money line. In a parlay that I ended up losing. But 17.5. Wow, that is a huge spread. But people are believing the Hurricanes, while we may not be a top-tier recruiting team, a lot of people believe the Hurricanes are a top-tier team with Ohio States of the world. Because we have built what we've needed to build. We're trenches. We can dominate the trenches, offense and defense. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think USF has seen anything like us.
No, they haven't played a team like Miami yet this year. And I know narratives get driven up heading into many games, especially top 25 matchups. The rankings really don't matter at this point of the year. Florida was just ranked. Florida State was not ranked, and now they're ranked. These things change so much within these first 6 weeks of college football until things really settle in. Teams are getting into conference play and whatnot. I'm not going to entirely discredit USF. Yes, it looks great on paper that you beat number 25 Boise State. You beat a top 15 ranked Florida team. But, I mean, should Florida have really been ranked that high? Probably not. We talked about this in the offseason that Florida was getting a lot of undeserved hype, especially surrounding DJ Lagway with their quarterback and that whole situation and just the media drumming up the narrative. And I like to point to like what Michael Yo has shared before on Comics on Canes when I get on with him. He said it that a lot of times in the national media, at least, not in local media, but national, they kind of get fed this script throughout the offseason, like stick to these points, say this, drum this up more, hype this up. And then once the games come, it's no longer about narratives. It's about what you see on the field. And look, the tackling's not the only bad thing about USF. I'm really not trying to knock them down, but I'm very big on the analytical side of things when it comes to these matchups and how teams look on the tape. I just don't think USF matches up well with Miami at all. I think they're very small on the defensive line. I think that's going to play a really big factor in this game. I see Miami's offensive line winning and getting push up front consistently. I think they're going to establish the run. And the other thing that I've seen on tape from USF's defense, aside from the very bad tackling, they struggle to cover slot receivers and tight ends. I think this is a game where Malachi Toney can feast again. And I think we might see an emergence from guys like Elijah Lofton and Alex Bowman this week.
Awesome. That would be great. The last thing I want to say before we get to the questions is I think there's an SOS, an APB, all points plus something. Where have all the Gator fans gone that we're talking about when they bring us 41-8? That was old news, 41-8. We are so much better now. We're going to wipe the floor with you. We got the best quarterback in the nation in Lagway. I mean, it's like they've disappeared off the face of the earth. So it's I hope they beat LSU. And it's
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. So it's that could be a trap game for us actually, because if we do hammer out USF and it's early, then we got FSU coming up and a bye. So let's just take it one game at a time. I'm so confident in this Canes team because we're not just a one-trick pony. They are stacked. They may not be Ohio State or any of those teams yet, but I think they're really close. So
yeah. Like we've talked about before, Miami's not tier one as like in terms of high school recruiting yet. Can they break into that? Yeah. You've seen it happen with Notre Dame with their run they had last year. They're recruiting at a different level now. If Miami can have some postseason success, that can translate onto the recruiting trail in terms of high school. However, I'll give Miami their flowers in terms of the transfer portal. They've had some guys that have really, really popped on the tape early on in the season. Guys like David Blay. David Blay is being discussed as a legitimate NFL draft prospect. This is a guy who just came over from Louisiana Tech. I've given him his props even last week coming out of the Notre Dame game. I don't think Miami's had a nose tackle like him dating back to like Kendrick Norton. So
wow,
I think he's a real difference maker up front. It definitely pops on the tape. And Keontae Scott, the nickel that Miami has this year, transfers in from Auburn, was an all SEC guy when he was at nickel at Auburn. Before they moved him outside last season, he didn't really like his role there. He's back with his position coach now. He looks phenomenal for Miami at the nickel spot. And I think nickel is one of the toughest positions to play on defense because you're matching up with various guys, and you're also expected to be a +1 on run defense and it's overall because you're taking a linebacker off the field to put that extra defensive back out there. So Keontae Scott has done a tremendous job, and I expect him to continue so.
No, good points. Good points. So first comment of the day, let me go to Robert here because I saw Robert in the store, Robert Holub or Holub Robert. I apologize. I always pronounce it wrong. But then he messaged me last week, when's the podcast? And I said, it was yesterday. And I said, I'll message you before this one. And luckily, I see him on there. So Robert with good evening, Jam good, evening, Gelman good, evening, Gelman good, even Gelman good. Am I missing something here? Even Gelman. And a shout out to my brothers in section 206. Robert, thank you for joining the show. Always appreciate you. I'm glad you can join. Let's see who else we got here. We got Juan and Manuela's in the house, believe it or not, Gio. Hey, good evening, Brett. Mando should join soon. And Gio, the G5, Billy and the Gators, Con the Nation. DJ Lagway is not a generational talent, but a regressional talent who is masquerading as a dual threat QB. He is not.
I'll be honest. I think DJ Lagway has a lot of potential. It's very obvious to see that the physical stature and the attributes. I think a disservice is being done to him at Florida and the play calling that Billy Napier has. And the fact that Billy Napier hasn't given up play calling duties in Gainesville, I think it's going to cost him the head coaching job there. I think, you ask me personally, I'm not going to rule it out. If they lose to LSU this weekend, and then they come to Miami next weekend, and if they lose to Miami, and if they lose bad, I wouldn't be surprised because the expectations are so high in Gainesville with their fans and what they expect from that program. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out the door before October begins. I really wouldn't.
I agree with you. I mean, last year he was the first coach supposedly on the firing. And then they turned it around. Will even be in Miami if they get blown out by LSU. I'm sure he will because if they think they may lose that game, why bring in a new coach? But you're right. Gator fans had so much excitement, so much energy. I don't know. We were mentioning about Mike McDaniel earlier, the coach of the Dolphins, calling the plays. And it's like some guys can do it. Andy Reid could do it for the Chiefs when he was at the Eagles. But most guys, they're sitting there staring at the plays. It's very difficult to call the plays and be the CEO of the of the team. Very difficult job for these young coaches to do, especially if it's their first opportunity. It doesn't make any sense. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, nothing against them, but hopefully.
I will mention one thing though about that game with Florida. That'll be coming up next week. It may be the last time Miami and Florida play for a very, very long time. And I don't mean this just like to hype it or drum it up. The SEC and what they're discussing about a 9-conference game schedule, possibly next year and moving forward. As it is, like the way Florida sets up their schedule and whatnot, it's very unlikely Miami will be back on their schedule for an extended period of time. So we got to savor what's coming next week.
Exactly, which means it's more the reason why we need the win. I guess the only way that we're going to play them is if we go to the SEC.
Yeah.
And, because the SEC obviously wants to just override and take over college football. I'm with the Big Ten. I mean, it won't even be the NCAA anymore. It'll just be the big SEC 10 or something like that. So if they had it their way, there'd be no ACC. There'd be no what's the other one? Is it the Big 12 the other one?
Big 12, yeah.
Yeah. So Juan Manuel, let's see. Evo Intention, welcome to the show. Good evening. Will JoJo be under a snap count against USF, Gio?
That I am not sure on right now. I'm not going to go too far into that. He was dressed for Notre Dame, as everyone saw. He played in that game. He got a decent amount of snaps. He was on a snap count for that game. I am one that sits on the belief that when JoJo is healthy and they get him going, I think he could be really good alongside Malachi Toney and CJ Daniels. And funny enough, I was mentioning transfers earlier. CJ Daniels is another guy in that category with David Blay and Keontae Scott that have really popped on tape. I mean, CJ Daniels has gone 10 for 10 catches, 10 targets. He's 100% perfect and impeccable to begin the season, leading the team in receiving touchdowns right now too. So he's having a really great start to the year. But on the snap count, though, it wouldn't surprise me. I think it's more so a situation they'll see as it goes, but it's not anything that's like super serious or long term. It's just right now they're trying to monitor it, make sure he's okay before letting him rip completely.
And I'm going to say one guy in South Florida called it. A lot of people talked about Malachi. A lot of people talked about his. One guy, Mr. Gio here, said he's buying stock, spending big on CJ Daniels. You had said CJ Daniels, and you didn't say it right away. You said it like after seeing him at half the practice. You said, I am taking stock in this guy. He is improving. So you saw it during training camp, correct?
Yeah, I saw it during fall camp, and one of the guys who really pushed me towards that thought process. I like to respect what former players say and guys that did it at a really high level. Mm-hmm. And Amon had watched some of the scrimmages, and he had shared it to me. He said, look, like CJ is just him and Beck, their chemistry is really good. And I got that feedback multiple times. And it wasn't even just Amon. It was other people, too, out there that told me about it. And I was like, all right, I think the safe bet is on him. And sure enough, that showed up very early to open this season. But shout out to Amon. Amon
called it. So you're saying that it wasn't just you.
So I followed Amon. I tailed him on that one because he was mentioning it since back in the spring.
Well, if anybody knows receivers, it's Amon. Right? He is a receiver guru. Jake, howdy, Brett, Gio, and the Canes fan. Jake, great seeing you. The Mullet Run, Ducky is here. Thank you for joining the show, Duck. As always, Duck is a regular, Gio. Gio, I think you answered this one before. Will we run the ball on early downs for pars or yards in the first half? And you said yes, definitely. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. I think we'll have success on the ground.
Ryan Smith, what happened to Brad? Haven't seen him anywhere this year. I've not seen Brad either. I've got to give him a call. Great kid. Brad is.
Actually, Brad was at the Notre Dame game, and
was he?
He reached out to me recently because I was a little concerned because he hadn't been around for a while. So I reached out to him on social media before, and he had just recently responded. He was checking his
Brad Nemon, of course.
He's doing good. He's spending a lot of time with family and whatnot. He's just kind of focused on that right now, but he's doing well.
That's what he told me. He's going to be focusing on family. Which, listen, everybody got to have a happy medium. Happy wife, happy life. It's really important. We take that for granted a lot. It's football, and it's really important to have a balanced life, no doubt about it. So good for Brad for that respect. New King God, how do you feel about, welcome to the show, how do you feel about Simpson and Dakin Russell performance? Do you think they will get more snaps?
So Dante Simpson and Dalen Russell, I think Dalen Russell flashed a little bit, kind of blowing up that play up the middle, which was in the goal line situation. Very small sample size there. I know Dante Simpson really impressed throughout spring and even some of fall camp. He was nursing a little bit of an injury near end of fall, but he's okay now. He's in that rotation playing as well. I think you're just going to, at least for now, you're going to see them continue to lean on Armando Blunt as that fourth defensive tackle. He's your first guy in defensive end rotation after Bain and Mesidor, but he's in that rotation with D tackles as well, and I expect it to continue that way, at least for the time being.
Awesome. Let's see. Gio showing off that hair. I mean, he does look good. This is one sharp guy. I got to admit that, Jake, as well. Gio does look. He looks like he's 20. I watched the court show and wondered if Gio is related to Judge Million.
There's a Judge Million?
Wow. Look at that, Gio.
What I used to get before, because this is like when I was a kid, I used to see it myself because he used to report, I think it was for the Palm Beach Post or one of the newspapers. His name was George Million. And funny enough, my father's name is George Million, but it's not the same George Million.
I always thought you were related. When you first time he came on the show, I said, related to George Million? George was he was a reporter. Was he Palm Beach and not Sun Sentinel? But he was also on the radio, I think, right?
Yeah, he was on the radio sometimes. I remember as a kid watching the games and then looking at the reports and whatnot growing up. But I know he was with Palm Beach Post, and I think he was with Sun Sentinel at one point or another, something like that.
All right. The fact that you say when you were a kid, do I feel old? Because I just thought it was a few years ago. Yeah. Let's see. New King God, I agree. Florida really beat themselves more than USF beat them. They had dropped TDs and penalties, called a few TDs back. So New King God is saying Florida is better than they look. USF is not as good as they look. Is that basically the case?
I agree. I think that was a very winnable game for Florida. They messed it up, especially with Spitgate at the end. You know, you watch that Eagles-Cowboys game, and you think some guys around the country would learn a lesson from that, and they didn't.
Not the case. Not the case. So it's so that's interesting.
By the way, I mentioned this after the Notre Dame game, and Mario Cristobal highlighted that this week. Kudos to Miami's players on their roster being so disciplined in like emotional situations like that, or teams trying to get them off their keel, like knock them off their keel, even keel, just mentally in a game. You see this happen multiple times in the Notre Dame game, because it's funny, they talk about Catholics versus convicts, but you really turn on the tape and watch the game and you see it multiple times. Notre Dame's players grabbing Miami's guys by the face mask, slapping in the back of the helmet and everything after plays. No penalties on that, by the way. They challenged JoJo Trader about I think it was 2 or 3 times during that game. And the mental toughness there to not engage back. He's just kind of like, all right, you want to do that? Fine. And the referees even see it too. It's the crazy thing.
It was very difficult to call a penalty on Notre Dame in that game. And when they did, they seemed to be like, we apologize. We'll call 2 on Miami right now. Back to that. Robert, good evening, gentlemen, again. And shout out to my brothers, Inception 206. Brett, your crew is the bomb at CanesWear. Thank you, Robert. We appreciate that. We do have an awesome crew. Jeff, Ken, and the team are fantastic. And we do pride ourselves on awesome customer experience. You walk into Dick's, you walk in other places, people aren't going to know your name. People aren't going to go ahead and know about the product, follow the team. That's one of the great things about the hometown store. As my buddy Sinbad, who's had a couple of stores too, used to say, he tried to move next to me. He says, you can't beat the hometown heroes. I said, thank you. I like that name, the hometown heroes. So let's see, Jake, if it weren't for the dumbass spitting in a USF player's face, more than likely they're 1-1 and their fan base wouldn't have to squat crow about that. Anything that they got lucky. Okay, USF he's talking about got lucky.
Yeah.
So I think that's as good for us. Because we're going to have to take USF more serious. They're undefeated. We're undefeated. And we listen.
I don't think Miami's going to take them lightly this week, and I think Mario and the coaches will have them prepared. I'm just not buying the USF hype. Like I said, I'm big time on the analytics and how the numbers kind of shape out. And yes, it's early season, but 36 missed tackles, that is ridiculously bad. And I looked through some other metrics for them as well. So they're the 12th worst tackling team in the country, 36 missed tackles. Miami's actually top 10 in the country in terms of tackling. Compared to everyone else out there, and Power 4 as well. I think they come in about top 6th or 7th, somewhere in that range. They're the 12th worst team against the run in the country entering this game.
Wow.
They have a bottom quarter pass rush, like their success rate against offensive lines. They're like I like to call it the bottom quarter. I put the college football into 4 quarters. You have 136 teams in the FBS right now. USF is in that bottom quarter.
Really?
They're one of the worst pass rushing teams in the Power Four as well, just early on in the season. And the other big thing, everyone always talks about offense, defense, and whatnot. They're graded out as one of the worst special teams units in the entire country. They're the 6th worst special teams unit in terms of kick return coverage and punt returns. So I think that's all going to play out on the field.
So we've got to take it to them really early. We can't let them hang around. We can't let them feel like they have a chance. We need to get up on them like we got up on Bethune-Cookman. They're not Bethune-Cookman, understand, but you can't let a team like that hang around and believe they can win.
Yeah. Well, where I'll give them credit, though, Byron Brown is a very dynamic athlete at quarterback. He's
correct.
He is going to have to bring their A game, and they've tackled very well through the first 2 games. You got to continue that theme going into this game on Saturday afternoon. I'm not entirely concerned with him as a passer. Never was, even from the tape from last year and none of the early tape this year. It's just you got to make sure that you play assignment football, no blown coverages like you saw in the Notre Dame game. That could come and bite you in the back near the end of the game. So Miami's got to stay on their toes with that. And then the other thing I'll mention, they do have a receiver that Miami didn't see last year that kind of broke out in the middle of the season for them in 2024, Keshawn Singleton. He's having a really nice start to the year. I think he's like averaging 23, 24 yards per catch. So he's a deep threat that's going to challenge Miami's cornerbacks. But there's not anything entirely that would strike fear into me just viewing the matchup for how favorable it is for Miami. I really do think Miami handles them. And me personally, I will place a bet on the game, and I am taking Miami in this one. I'm taking what the line is. It's 17.5. I think Miami can cover that.
No, that's a big number, but I do think once we get it rolling, I have heard good things about the quarterback. I've seen him, but someone told me he's like a smaller, little Cam Ward, not Cam Ward, Cam Newton. I don't think.
Yeah, but less passing ability. He struggles with intermediate routes.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. It'll be exciting, though. Hopefully we have a big crowd. We need the fans to turn out. The 12th man has to come out. I'd like to see at least 60,000 people at that game.
Yeah, and then also, funny enough, you mentioned the fans too, the environment as well. Within that game, Miami has to also handle the up-tempo offense of USF because they like to run a lot of no huddle. So you got to make sure on the sidelines that the coaches have these rotations set very well coming into this game. There could be no mistakes or lapses or guys getting gassed. Like everyone has to stay well hydrated and conditioning's. I think conditioning is going to be the biggest thing that sets out in this game. I think that's why I expect Miami to run away with it in the second half. I have the score at 37-14.
37-14. All right. So 37-14, 23 points. All right. I can still do math at my age. That's good. All righty. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Blue, welcome to the show. South Florida having to win 3 straight games against ranked teams is a gauntlet stretch. They will be worn down physically. You know, that is true. But as Gio mentioned, is Boise State, were they really a ranked team? Maybe Florida, but Boise State lost their key player. That's the thing about ranking them. How are they even ranked the way they looked? I mean, it's just because they're named Boise State, because the blue carpet didn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I hate to do this, but you look at the conference that Boise State plays in as well. They're not playing really good teams week in and week out, even last season. I don't want to take the credit away from Ashton Genty. I think he's a phenomenal talent. He showed that throughout the year. He showed his longevity throughout the season. But it's not like they're playing the world beaters every week or even decent teams for that matter in their conference.
Well, I grabbed him on the second round of my fantasy team, so hopefully he starts performing. Let's see. New King God, what's stopping Miami from currently begin considered a national championship favorite right now? I looked at what's considered the top teams, and I don't see much difference between them and us. I think we're, what, 20 to 1 right now? We're ranked number 5 in the country.
Yeah, so Miami's number 5 in the country, number 6 in the AP poll. Don't look at the ESPN football power index. That's just crazy, insane. It's this metric that they have that they determine these these like power rankings that they have, and it's wild. They have Miami at like 21, and they still have Florida in the top 25, and just some crazy metric computer thing that they do that they spit it through, and it just looks ridiculous. So I wouldn't pay attention to the ESPN FPI. As a matter of fact, the ESPN FPI has USF with a better chance of making the playoffs than Miami right now, which is crazy in itself.
Really?
But yeah, I saw that. They have like a 0.2% better chance of making the playoffs right now than Miami does. However, on the betting odds, though, Carson Beck, he continues moving up every week. Right now, you have 2 guys that are tied for the best odds at 900, but right after them, you got Carson Beck sitting at 1,000. Second best betting odds for the Heisman Trophy right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So we've got who are the 2 guys first?
Let me pull it up here. I saw it earlier this week, and I thought it was really interesting. Heisman odds. Let's go.
Hard Rock doesn't have that bet, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Hard Rock with that.
Yeah.
But I know I saw it today or yesterday. Okay, here we go. It's from BetMGM. So your top 2 right now are Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, which LSU didn't look so good against Louisiana Tech last week, which is kind of surprising. And John Mateer from Oklahoma, who Miami
looked good
at one point.
Yes.
And then Carson Beck right after them. Dante Moore at 1,100, and Arch Manning in the top 5 at 1,100. Surprising.
Hey, I guess the bad game against Ohio State nobody cares about anymore because he had a good game against nobody.
Yeah, well, I think Arch will be fine in the long run. I just think there's some mechanics he's got to work out. I think he's far from the finished product right now.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Carson Beck, which I wanted to bet him to be the number 1 pick, and we'll see if that's even a chance. That'll come up next week on the odds. If in a miracle season and Carson is the Heisman Trophy, and everyone thought we had the greatest, which we still did, Cam Ward, and it didn't show on the scoreboard, of course, but he really looked good in Tennessee. His release was so fast, and they dropped so many balls. I mean, they might as well have CeeDee Lamb playing for them. They were dropping the ball so much. How he did in that game. But, I mean, they were just, even Ridley, they were all dropping balls. It looked like Calvin Ward was a little disappointed there on the side.
Calvin Ward looked like Brett, you remember the infamous Jimmy Butler photo where he's kind of just slumped over and tired? That I felt bad for Calvin.
I did too.
I felt really bad for him. Cam Ward, I know the numbers don't suggest this, but if you watch that game, his receivers did him no favors. I mean, there was one early on in that game where they had 3 receivers in a bunch set to the far side of the field on the right. All 3 went out to block instead of one coming out to take the screen pass. Like that's just bad. That's bad. You're playing professional football. You're in the NFL. Even some people started making the joke to like, man, they got to call up Restrepo from the practice squad.
Absolutely. I thought the same thing.
If his receivers don't start catching the ball, yeah. And the other rookie they have on the roster, Alec Iomanor, who came from Stanford. He was really productive college football receiver as well. He had it was something along the lines of I think it was like 103 yards he could have had if he.
Wow.
Yeah, but it just didn't happen. Like he didn't catch the ball or didn't make the contested catch or anything. So the numbers don't show it, but you watch the tape and all the scouts are talking about it right now. Cam Ward looked good. And that was the Broncos are arguably like a top 2, top 3.
Exactly. Defense. They are possibly the top defense. But I'll give you one more. I thought the coaching Callahan did was atrocious for a first-time quarterback. I mean, Pollard was running the ball well. They'd have 2nd and 4, and he'd always hand off. They'd have 3rd hand off. But then when it was 3rd and long, he'd let Cam throw. Or even worse, the last drive of the half. Okay, Cam's at the 8-yard line, and you can run out the clock. Basically, they got 2 timeouts, run 3 plays into the line, and the half is over. Instead, he's got Cam dropping into the end zone and throwing the ball in every time. I mean, just not to me. I know it was good, bullets under fire right there and everything, but it's not the best thing for a young quarterback. He easily could have thrown a pick six. They were all over him. They ended up giving up the touchdown, the winning touchdown on that when they punted. It was the worst coaching by Callahan. Be conservative, but we're going to put him in the back of the end zone and make him throw 3 times. It was crazy, I thought. So I think the receivers nor the coaching did him any favors. Hopefully he will have a better game. He plays the Rams this week, and we'll see what happens.
I think Calvin Ridley needs to be investigated again.
Yeah.
That was
could be
atrocious
right.
game.
That's a good point. Those are strong words there. But the reason I brought that up is because Cam didn't win the Heisman. He was the greatest quarterback they say ever played in Miami. Probably was. Can you imagine what will happen if Beck comes and win the Heisman this year? It'd be so ironic if that happened.
It's the craziest thing about that. It's not entirely crazy what you're saying either, because going into last season, he was the favorite to be the number 1 pick for the 2024 season. And, all the drama and everything happened at Georgia, and just him and Mike Bobo just really didn't get along. And he loves Todd Monken, who's actually the OC now with the Ravens. And Todd Monken was basically the guy that sold Miami on bringing in Carson Beck, because, there were still differing opinions in the building. But once they spoke with Todd Monken, that changed everything for them, like from an administrative level with the football program, that they were all in on Carson Beck going after him. But funny thing about that, though, about number 1 pick and whatnot, Ruben Bain right now is basically considered the best defensive player in the entire country. You can make the argument between him or Caleb Downs from Ohio State. Bain grades out as more of a productive player right now between the two early on in the season. If he continues on the pace that he's at, we've seen this before where edge rushers can go number 1 overall. It's happened before. So I don't want to rule that out either. I know it's very early into the season. We got to see how things play out. But if he continues on that pace, Miami has some good things happen around the program.
No doubt. We could have 1-2. Which is a scary thought, because who had 1-2 this year and they weren't even good? Not 1-2, but they had 2 teams and like 2 picks in the top 5 or so. Who was that again this year? Not Cincinnati.
Colorado? No, not Colorado.
It was with a C, I think, though.
Shoot,
somebody will figure it out. One of our fans will figure it out. While you're looking at that, Blue is the South Florida Smack Talk shirt for sale online. Yes, it is, Blue, and I have not even promoted that yet. We have several Smack Talk shirts. We got the South Florida, the real South Florida shirt. I have to put that on after the show. We've got the new Gator shirt. When the Hurricanes fly, Gators cry. We've got the Swamp shirt from last year. We've got Straight Out of the 305. We've got Fear the Future, Envy the Past. We got lots of really cool Smack shirts, and they are online right now at CanesWear.com. And I was supposed to put them on today, and I didn't. So I will get them on very soon. They are online right now, CanesWear.com. Just type in USF, beat USF, and you'll see it.
Brett, I got the answer for you on the most recent draft. It was Michigan, Mason Graham and Colston Loveland.
But that's Michigan. But there was somebody else that had 2 high picks. It wasn't Michigan. It was another team that was really not good. Was it Tulsa? No, Toledo? No. Michigan may, but there was someone else that had 2 picks high. I think it was Rutgers, maybe?
No, I'm not seeing that right here. No, not really. It was
okay. I have to look at. Maybe I'm dreaming it.
The team that wasn't that great on the field last year, but had 2 really high draft picks was Michigan.
So next year we could have 2 guys in the top 5. And Ruben Bain, I'm stocking up on his football cards right now. You can get him at a valuable deal. I mean, Cam Ward is about 10 times the price. Anyway, moving along. 1 milligram epinephrine. I love that name. Welcome to the show. All that's stopping Miami from being considered a favorite to win the national championship is a 20-year history of losing to far less talented teams. Nobody trusts Miami to keep it together.
He does have a point, because we've talked about that on this show. It's all about how they finish this year. If they can finish strong, the narratives change very quickly.
No, I agree on that. That is, and Mario, I think, has put together a powerhouse. The question is, can he be the captain that steers this trip to a championship? There were those that thought Butch Davis couldn't, that he wasn't a good game day coach. And
I'll ask you this, Brett. I know it's only 2 weeks into the season. And well, you had week 0, so technically it's like 2.5 weeks. But who do you think are the 3 most impressive teams that you've seen throughout the college football game slates through the first two games for most teams?
I mean, I think it's Ohio State. I think Oklahoma has looked good. That's Mateer's team, correct? Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm not buying the hype on Oklahoma yet.
Okay. And I think the Canes. So obviously, I'm a homer in the Canes, but I know those 3 teams have done. I think Oklahoma's playing well now. Oklahoma. I just saw Texas plays 5 ranked teams in the is it Texas or Oklahoma that plays a tough schedule. One of them doesn't play any ranked teams in the SEC. The other one plays 5 ranked teams, top teams in the SEC. I saw that today. I think it is Oklahoma has a softer schedule. They don't play anybody this year.
Yeah, it's possibly that.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. But who do you think it is?
I personally would go with Ohio State, Oregon, and Miami. And right outside that bubble, I know LSU didn't look great against Louisiana Tech. I still think they're going to be a pretty good team this year. And I'm still wait and see on Florida State right now. The reason why is I put them honorable mention outside that top 3 that I put there. I know this sounds crazy because they had just beaten Alabama and whatnot. I think we need to see more of Alabama this year to see,
of course, yes.
Just have a bad game. What exactly happened? How do they finish this year? How does it look mid-season for Alabama? I want to see how Florida State plays Virginia. If Florida State dominates Virginia, because Virginia's not that good of an ACC team this year, if they dominate them, I'll buy even more stock into them. I was impressed with the win over Alabama, though, because it's not so much like the score, it's the way that it looked. Like, just they bullied Alabama. It was just so jarring to watch an Alabama team get pushed around like that.
No, I agree on that. But first game, you never know. Notre Dame could come back and be the second best team in the country. They could be the best team in the country and we'd be in. We don't know. When you play a tough team in the first game, you never know what's going to. The Alabama, Florida State, maybe Alabama runs the table and Florida State loses 3 or 4 games. I
actually got Notre Dame running the table after their loss to Miami. I think they're going to beat Texas A&M this week.
Possibly, definitely. And welcome to the show, Muscles. I mean, Mando. Welcome to the show, Mando. He is here, ladies and gentlemen. Better late than never.
Better late than never. It's always a privilege to join Brett, Gio, and Gio's hair. I mean, look at this. This is like Pat Riley in 1992, baby.
Pat Riley. Pat Riley, exactly.
Look at this.
Pat Riley.
I didn't even think of that. Okay, we're going to call him 3-Pete. So he does look a little like Pat Riley. Great call on that.
Prime Pat Riley.
Absolutely. So, Mando, got any words about the previous game, about what's happening in Canes land?
Well, I'm already thinking. I was there last week. I'm looking for Bissainthe to come back strong this week. Very disappointing what happened last week, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, I was there. I know you guys were. Even for Bethune, crowd was into it from the jump. No, it was not a Notre Dame crowd, obviously, but great atmosphere. And like Gio and me have talked preseason, just keep winning and they will come. And the fans are keep coming. And this week there's been major demand to go to the game from a lot of people asking around. And it's exciting, man. They've really built something from the ground up, and it's pretty fun to experience, to be honest with you.
I have a theory on that about the tickets. I think it has to do with the way the Dolphins looked.
Yeesh. I don't know who it was. The guy made a great point. Some analyst on, I don't even know what network it was. He's like, it was pronounced this bad for the Finns because, think about it, it's the opener. You're going up against Daniel Jones. We know his past. And you look that ill-prepared. Anybody can lose. If you lose, by 7, 5, 10, they just didn't even look like they belonged in the same field with the Colts. Yeah. And you had weeks and months to prepare, and that's what you put on the field? Like, that was bad. Like, that was really bad, man. I mean, Daniel Jones was like Joe Montana out there. It was crazy. The Finns, I don't see how Greer and McDaniel might not last the season, to be honest with you. I don't see it. I don't see how he lasts.
You can't wear those clothes. I'm sorry. If you're winning, you can wear them. But if you're not winning, you cannot dress like a kid. And then just the way he is, his actions. When you're winning, everybody lets everything go. When you're losing, you're a laughing stock.
No, and it's a poorly built. The GM it's just poorly built. All the best teams in the pros, the Ravens, the Eagles, the Chiefs, they're all built from the inside, like Mario's done with it.
Exactly, great point.
It's a poorly built. Not to bash the Finns, I'm not a Finns fan, but it's a really poorly built team, and they got bullied by the Colts bad. It was a beatdown. It was really bad.
So, Brett, this week it's all about electric juice. D-Train's talking.
Yes.
Coaches are talking about it. Electric juice.
Yes.
In Hard Rock Stadium.
Electric juice.
Hashtag electric juice.
Yeah. I did not hear that.
I think Brett's going to start making some electric juice shirts.
I did not know that. All right. I must have missed that call. Electric juice. We will have to work on that. Speaking of shirts, Blue ordered the Gators Smack Talk shirt last night from CanesWear. I think he got the new Gators Fly shirt, which is kind of a cool shirt. Let me see if I got that picture right here. Tell me if you guys can see. It's a brand new shirt. Can you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
Hurricanes fly.
When hurricanes fly,
Gators cry.
There you go. They originally went with Gators die, and I said, I don't think we can say that. They didn't let people in. They didn't let people in with the F Luck shirts.
Yeah, I was one of. I told you that.
I know, Mando.
I was one of them. I'm walking up with the wife about 10 feet away. The lady's looking at me. She's like, "No, you can't come in with that." And I'm like, "Hell no!" I had to go back to the car.
You can't go in with that one. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's funny when you have to go all the way back to the car. You should just go to another gate. But
I told Mando the trick behind that. All right.
The double shirt.
Right?
The double shirt.
Double shirt it, and when you get to the stands, just take it out.
No, but she wasn't playing. I was like 10, 15 feet away. She's like, "You back to the car." Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. Well.
Let's see. Thank you very much, Blue. We appreciate that. The Jet 305, welcome to the show. USF is going to get deep fried on Saturday. I like that. Okay. It's at the Bremen Bulls. The Bulls are going to be deep fried. Miami's going to put them in a blender. Wow, he's going back to back there. And staff evals have been on point this year.
With the transfer portal, I agree that from the transfer portal perspective, like I mentioned earlier, Keontae Scott, David Blay, who's being talked about tremendously as a legitimate NFL prospect as a nose tackle. CJ Daniels, who we talked about a bit leading up right up into the season, and I think a couple more guys are gonna pop on the tape too. I think you're gonna see a guy like Mohamed Touré. I think this is gonna be a big game that, as Mando mentioned about Wesley the Saint, you need those two guys to really come up and have a solid day against USF.
Absolutely. The Jet, yes, QB is a very extremely difficult position to play. You need a high school football IQ. I think he's talking about quarterback there. DJ is going to be good once he leaves UF, possibly a portal option for Miami next season. That's very interesting. That would be very interesting. And the former Brock Berlin, that he comes to us. The first time when you said that, about him, that they're doing him an injustice, I thought about it. If he goes to the portal, he could end up. Wouldn't that be really crazy if he ended up here?
The connections to Miami are not. I'm not saying it happens. It's just hypothetical speaking here. Before anyone takes that and runs with it, listening to this, but when it comes to Lagway, him and Cam Ward, they've actually crossed paths a bit before in the past.
Really?
And if you remember with the there was a hurricane last year. There was some natural disaster that took place last year after the Florida game, and they both got together to sell those trading cards that all the proceeds went to the victims and the families. I believe it was wasn't it the hurricane that happened on the west coast of Florida? I believe it was that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Let me show you that. This is not South Florida beat USF. Can you guys see that?
This is not South Florida beats USF. Yeah. Yeah. I like that one.
So I know, and I went to USF South for many years ago. And it's like, all right, South Florida on the west coast of Florida. I mean, where do they get the word South Florida? I mean, it's kind of crazy. And then you just got University of Central Florida is further east
Orlando,
than Orlando, which is kind of weird. Further east and south. So that was always interesting that they got South Florida. But New King God, let's see, Aaron Frazier, let's see, Jet 305, G5, Billy getting canned the Monday after the Miami game. We're going to put him out to pasture. A little bit of Al Golden and Clemson, the Jet is calling. What do you guys think of that?
What with Billy?
Billy getting
I mentioned that earlier.
I think it's possible. Yes,
I mentioned that earlier in this show that I think it's possible he may not make it to October if they lose to LSU this weekend, and then you lose to Miami. You're talking about
1-3. That'd be 1-3, right?
3 consecutive losses to open up the season, and the expectations and how it is there in Gainesville. I mean, I'd be surprised if he enters October as the coach if he loses the next 2.
Especially if we go out and pound them 41-8 again.
Yeah, that would. Whew.
I mean, how much different is their team versus what the team we beat last year?
I'll give them credit in one aspect. I think their defense is a bit better than it was last year. The offense still has issues.
Yes, I believe that too. But last year, I mean, if we dominate them again, which is what we would need in the last time we play them and possibly forever, maybe a bowl game, or if we're not in the SEC, maybe a bowl game. Let's see. Juan Manuel Gio, do we see Cole Mack, number 44, at defensive end this season? Could Kellen Wiley be used as an edge with Hayden Lowe? He looks great on rushing the quarterback, except running back can knock him off balance.
Yeah, so when it comes to Cole McConaughey, he's still kind of nursing something right now. He's not suited up on the sidelines or playing with the team at the moment. So just kind of nursing an injury there that kind of lingered throughout camp. And unfortunately, what happened with Hayden Lowe just now being ruled out for the season is a weird situation overall because it didn't appear like anything serious when we saw him last week. He wasn't dressed out, but, there was no boot, no cast, nothing out of the ordinary. So I hope he has a speedy recovery himself. And then when it comes to Kellen Wiley, I don't think you'll see him at the edge. I know they're really excited about him at linebacker. I mentioned before the season started, I think he's someone that you're going to see start to play more as the season progresses along. I think maybe some point halfway through the season or a little after that point, you'll start to see him getting more into that rotation at linebacker.
Interesting. Jet 305, UF not going to want to play Miami anymore. Like they're always trying to avoid us. We did used to play them every year at one time. We played them and Florida State every year until the SEC got too big for their britches. But that's a good point. This is going to be the last time we play them in a minimum of how many years?
Let's see, like how often the matchup
When's
takes.
the next time we're supposed to play them?
There's nothing scheduled after this.
Nothing scheduled. Okay, so they'd have to renew it. But if we destroy them again, which let's just hope we destroy them again, then we can worry about scheduling it later. We'll have that champion. And, in October 7th, we play Florida State October 7th, correct?
Fourth.
October 4th.
We'll be going. That's right. October 8th is Kachuk CanesWear. But we're going to be going for if we can beat these 3 teams in a row, USF, Florida, and Florida State, we'll be back to back. We like the Panthers, back-to-back champions, state champs, baby.
Well, if we win those 3 games in a row, Brett's going to come on here that Wednesday after FSU with like a gold Rolex,
Exactly.
gold chain.
Mando needs to be my manager. Let's see. He's got to be I'm managing Brett. You just get me the robe. I'll come out and like Rocky. Let's see, Jake, what's the scoop on what Markeith did to get booted?
Yeah, so the skinny on that, just short version. It's not a situation that was only just recently. It's been some off-field things that have been going on for the past couple of years. I think I elaborated on this earlier in the week, but I'll mention it here. It overall, when it comes to Miami's roster and how certain things have been handled in the past, I don't think the coaches are going to have much more patience for guys that are not doing the right things, that are showing up late. At least going forward, I know there's been certain things that they've kind of been a little lenient on, especially depth-wise and how the makeup is of the roster. I don't see that really happening much moving forward. I know they've tried to been very strict with the culture, but I think even more so now than ever, because the roster has reached a certain point that a guy or two can be expendable if they don't fit what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. Everybody's
well, and you have that, and then Bryce Fitzgerald came onto the team for fall camp, and he exploded immediately with his range and how he is in terms of coverage. And then you brought in Jacoby Thomas from Tennessee, and Dylan Day really stepped up this offseason. You already had Zachariah Poyser since the spring. You add all that, and then the off the field stuff is just kind of like, all right, it's whatever at this point.
Mm-hmm. We're going to see what do we think about Zachariah Poyser's performance in this game?
I'll be honest. He hasn't really been picked on in terms of coverage, which is a good thing when it comes to safety. Safety is the way I look at it, like this with safeties in football. If their name's not getting called a lot in terms of coverage, that means they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Or if they do get their name called, you're hoping it's a pick and it's not for a blown assignment. So there really hasn't been any blown assignments on his end. I know Jacoby Thomas had a couple in the Notre Dame game, and you hope that gets cleaned up. I would like to see him improve a bit in terms of playing against the run, though. I know there's been a couple missed tackles along the way, but still early in the season.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I'd say safeties and offensive linemen. You don't want to hear their name called a lot. You want to hear. Usually they're called because they missed a block or they have a holding penalty. If you don't hear them all game long, it's usually good news. But that's a good point. Especially a safety, a cornerback. If they don't say his name, they bring up your name, either an interception, a great play, or more likely you're giving up a big play.
Yeah.
Jet, absolutely. Gio knows ball. That may have to be a new shirt. Gio knows ball, just like that. Mondo knows muscles. Gio knows ball. I like it. Right there, we got a double header. Let's see. Yes, the Jet. CJ has been as good as expected. Real ball knower. A real ball knowers knew how good he would be. Funny thing is, he didn't catch a touchdown for 2 straight years. That amazing catch was his first touchdown.
That's pretty stunning, honestly.
It is pretty stunning.
Yeah, so it was last season at LSU, and some backstory to that, actually. So he was dealing with a heel injury the entire season last year, and he was still, I think he was LSU's number 2 or number 3 guy last year. Because they had a legitimate NFL guy who was their number 1 last year, in Kyron Lacy, before.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Unfortunately, everything that happened with him and whatnot, just really sad situation overall. But Daniels, he was basically their number 2 or number 3 guy last season.
No, which is, well, you know what? That's what all you need is one good year, we always say, right? Just give him one good year, you can have and really move up in the draft. So what year is he in, CJ?
This will be his last year. So he missed an entire season before, which was back in 2022 with an injury. So technically this is like his 6th year.
Wow.
It's like a 6-year redshirt senior right now. It's crazy. All these eligibility charts, they'll change soon because the COVID year guys, that's all coming to an end really, really soon, actually. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's going to be but aren't they going to get? Well, if they go to junior college, they get, or is it called junior college anymore?
Yeah, so the JUCO route.
They can go for 6 years now if they go to junior college, right?
Yes and no. That there's things are still kind of up in the air with that. People have asked me even the question on like Markel Bell. technically he could have another year, but he would have to get a waiver for that, and there's no guarantee that even gets cleared either. So,
all righty. Let's see. Miami's going to run for 225 plus on these guys. It's going to get ugly for the Bulls. I like it. I'm going to go with the over. Mando. I am taking the over on the 225 plus. I'm taking the plus on the Jet 305. Very good comment, though. Hassan, Brett, and Gio, the dynamic duo. Thank you very much. I feel like I'm part of the gang now. Thank you very much, Hassan. We appreciate that.
You made it. You made it.
I made it. I made it. Like the movie The Jerk, if anyone remembers that old movie. I made it. Steve Martin, by the way. Family, faith, and football. Great point, the Jet 305. I think actually we have that sign, that wooden sign, fitting like that. Jet 305, Miami 34-9. Take it to the bank. All right, I like it. Hassan, Gio, Miami offered a new wide receiver that is committed to Iowa State. Does that mean we are done with Calvin Russell?
No, they're not done with Calvin Russell. You could expect him back at the Florida game. From what I understand, he may come back for even another game after that. Miami's very much still in the mix for Calvin Russell. Now, when it comes to some other guys, for example, like Jason Lopez from Chaminade Madonna Prep, the recent feedback that I've gotten on that, I'll share it here. I've shared it on the private board the last 2 weeks. I'll bring it up on the show here. Things have kind of slowed down there. Not saying that Miami's not really recruiting him much anymore, but the dialogue is not really there between the two parties. So it's a lot of focus right now on Calvin Russell. Nicholas Lanier is a very real option to reclassify from 2027 down to 2026. A lot of arguments can be made. He is the best receiver overall in South Florida right now. He's a 5-star for his class in 2027. So we'll see. I know paperwork is being worked on there as well. I had someone confirm that to me. That's very close to his camp and his recruitment. So we'll see once things start progressing there. And then the other kid you're talking about, the one they recently offered, Milan Paris, who's out of the state of Ohio, committed to Iowa State, recently got that 4-star ranking over the summer. Things that stand out with him: 6'5" receiver, plays on some kick returns as well.
Mm-hmm.
Had about like 28 catches last season for, I believe it was 597 yards, 9 touchdowns. Impressive overall, just the catch to yardage ratio and the production there. I will say, though, as I mentioned this in a group chat when people asked me about it, I said, I trust the evaluation there. And the reason why is, go look at the receivers that have come out of Iowa State for the last 3 or 4 years. Really good guys. Really good guys. And I know the biggest one everyone's going to remember, Jaden Higgins recently, but they've had some really good players at receiver in recent years. So I trust the evaluation. They definitely have an eye for something there, because those guys weren't even like blue chip prospects, but they turned out to be really good college football players, and some even made the NFL.
Awesome. Let's see. So we said we're going to offer Calvin Russell. Robert, if Lagway puts on any more weight, he'll be playing nose tackle.
Jeez.
Why Billy N? Okay. Robert with the joke. Talked to a booster friend who wanting Napier gone. Wide receivers were a question mark before the start of the season. Would you call them an asset?
They're definitely an asset.
Their wide receivers of Florida are an asset?
No, I think he's talking about.
I thought you meant Miami. I thought you meant Miami's wide receiver.
Okay. So it's the one thing about Napier, I mean, it sounds like Napier and McDaniel are very similar. The way they are, everyone wants them gone. The things, except for McDaniel, isn't gaining weight. So I see some similarities here. Both calling their plays, both focusing on the offense only. The boosters want them gone. I think there's going to be a GoFundMe to get rid of a GoFundMe account right now to try to say fire Greer and McDaniel. It's amazing. People aren't even paying for it anymore. Like, just give me a GoFundMe thing to get rid of him. And I wonder if we'll see that. If they lose to LSU, will we see that fire Lagway? Because the Gator Nation has a lot of money. They've got a lot of alumni and boosters with a lot of money. Will we see a fire Lagway, since it's going to be the game of the it's going to be game day will be there, right? It'd be interesting to see that.
Are they? I'm not even sure.
I think
Are
they're
they
going to
in
be there for
LSU?
Florida.
Their game day is headed this weekend, actually.
I'm not even
No,
sure.
not South Florida, but Florida.
No, but are they going to be in Death Valley? Is that where they're
This
at?
weekend, Death Valley.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh no, they're going to be in Miami next weekend.
Oh, you're talking about game day?
I'm saying if they come, that's where they may want to fly that over game day, or they may want to fly that over. Just hey, if
Well,
they get
I
blown
think-
out by LSU.
I think if so, game days in Tennessee this weekend for Tennessee and
Georgia.
But
Okay.
I do think though that if LSU loses this weekend to LSU, I'd be really surprised if game day comes down to Miami for Miami, Florida. I mean a 1-2 Florida team. I don't know how you sell that from a.
Oh no, they wouldn't. No.
Yeah, I think it's a very hard sell. Just
You're right. How they
and then just intrigue.
Yeah.
How are you going to have that with a 1-2, even if it is Miami?
Yeah, because even if they would have won last week, and let's say there's no shame in losing at LSU at night, if they're 2-1, Miami's undefeated, you can sell that. But to Gio's point, you're 1-2 nationally. I mean, why are they in Miami? They're playing a 1-2 team, so it wouldn't make sense.
I will say though that on the question about the receivers, they're absolutely an asset. I've mentioned before the season, throughout the offseason, my consistent theme. I always said that every time Kevin Beard has been the wide receiver coach at Miami, his rooms have always produced.
He knows ball. He did say that.
Gio knows ball. Gio knows ball. Actually, that may be a shirt, Gio. We'll send you one for free if we're going to make it. Okay. Let's see. New King God. I'm trying to understand why Miami coaches refuse to trust Simpson, Russell, and give them snaps. SMH. Shaking my head. That is. If we're the team we believe we're going to need those bodies come in the playoffs. Okay. So we're 2-0.
I think you'll see Simpson get some reps along the way.
All right. So
the way that's shaken out there, but it just
we do have a lot of bodies. We do have a lot of players. We do have a lot of depth. So it is hard to get everybody in there,
especially at the wide receiver position.
We obviously played one game that we had to play most people, the starters and everything, the whole game, and then Bethune-Cookman we were able to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The team. Sorry, Mando, go.
No, before 2 weeks before the season, we were all like us and other people asking questions. Like, obviously, the wide receiver room was a concern. The quarterback was a concern. After just 2 games, now it's like I was on here and we were talking about that Lofton was supposed to be the targets leader.
Yes.
I mean, right now he's probably third on the pecking order, maybe, and behind Daniels and Malachi. So it's crazy how things just flip just like that. So
I mean, not that I know anything, but I did think I said this receiver team is going to be much deeper than last year's. Last year, it's, and I think it is right now. And we haven't even seen everything they've got, and we haven't even seen Lofton really, or the other tight end. What's his name again?
Bauman.
Alex Bauman. So he had 1 or 2 catches the last game, correct?
Yeah.
He got him the ball, which is good to see. Jet 305 team is going to inflict a ton of pain on USF on Saturday. Agreed. New King God, after 2 weeks of college football, what do you think about the remaining teams on our schedule compared to what you thought preseason? You guys can take
obviously FSU is the one you got. Nobody on earth had them as a top 10 team, so you got that's going to be
correct.
That's going to be just massive. October 4th, Miami at FSU. If things hold the way they're going, that's going to be. Miami wins. I think FSU has a road game. I think coming up against the next week maybe. But if they both are undefeated,
college game day.
Not just that, you're talking about 2 top 5, top 7 teams probably going at it. That is the biggest thing to me because none of us had that. I think Louisville on a Friday night is an interesting game to me. I mentioned it before the season. A really good running back,
Isaac
really
Brown.
good. Oh yeah, Isaac Brown. Braum is, as we know, is really a good offensive mind. Friday night game, those weekday games can be a little sleepy sometimes. I don't see that with this staff and team, but you never know. It happened last year with BT on Thursday. I was there. That was kind of a train wreck up and down throughout the whole game. But I think that game, but other teams in the schedule at SMU, they lost one. They tanked last week. They were up by 2 touchdowns against Baylor. Their defense looks terrible, SMU. I know it's one game, but yeah, right now I like where we're at right now. I like where we're at. I think Georgia Tech plays Clemson this week. Is it at Georgia Tech? Do you know, or is it?
Let me
Where's
check.
that game at? That's a hell of a game this Saturday. If I'm
Was
not
that an
mistaken.
ugly game that Clemson won last week?
They started off like crap.
Yeah. I mean, I give them all the credit in the world for at least coming
Yeah,
back.
you're right. Georgia Tech, Clemson at noon on Saturday. That leads right into Miami, USF.
Where's the game at? Is that at GT?
It's at Bobby Dodd Stadium, so that's at GT.
Well,
GT,
that's an
Bobby
absolutely huge game right there for the conference and playoff.
No,
picture.
that is a big game, and
I
Yeah.
can see Georgia Tech pulling it out. I think Georgia
GT can play.
their quarterback is a beast. What year is he in?
He's a senior, isn't he?
I think
No?
it's his 5th year right now.
Yeah, he's got to be.
What he did last year, still never understand why he did. They got the ball 11 times. At in that overtime, was it 11?
Georgia game,
and he ran one time the whole time. He's throwing every down. That's why teams they try to sometimes be too cute. Go with your strength.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I will say though, on the schedule, I did not expect USF to be ranked 18th in the country going into the weekend. Did not expect that at all.
No.
Did not expect Florida to lose to a team like USF. I thought, there was a chance that Florida could come into the Miami game 2-1 or maybe 3-0.
Absolutely.
That's very questionable now. The other things I'll mention, Louisville, I don't think their roster is as good as last year, but Isaac Brown is a heck of a task for any defense. And I will say this, I'll go back to this story. Miami had a chance to have Isaac Brown and Jordan Lyle in the same recruiting class. I know Mando's seen me talk about this before.
Yeah.
No offense to any of these kids or anything, but Isaac Brown was on Miami's campus multiple times that spring in his recruiting cycle, and they brought in Chris Wheatley-Humphrey and everything, and Tim Harris signed off on it that he wanted to take Chris Wheatley-Humphrey over Isaac Brown. Looking back in retrospect, I mean, even back then, I thought it was a little questionable. I saw Isaac Brown play at Homestead, play against really good teams in Dade County. I was surprised that it just kind of passed on him, but tremendous talent. So that Friday night game, especially coming off a bye week after the Florida State game, they really got to prepare for that. I don't think Louisville is as good as they were last year, but it's a Friday night game, like you mentioned, Mando. Got to be prepared. Absolutely got to be prepared for that. I think back to the Georgia Tech game back in 2023. You have to be prepared for that in the middle of a weekday game and all that sort. Florida State did not expect them to be top 10 at all. Yeah. They could very well be undefeated going into the matchup at Doak Campbell Stadium on October 4th to open up the month of October. So that's great for college football. I know some fans say they hope Florida State always sucks and that Florida always sucks. I think it's good for college football when I lean more to when Miami and Florida State are good. I think it also makes the SEC better when those two teams are good. So I think it's really good for college football. I think it changes the narrative. And I think maybe we're seeing a changing of the guard nationally. Just would be nice that Miami and Florida State are back.
That would be amazing.
I mean, do you think it's like Gio? Because obviously a lot of the experts want to head FSU 6 wins, 7 wins. Do you think it's? I mean, did we just undervalue the roster? Is Castellanos making that big of an impression? Like, what is a mix of everything? What exactly? I mean, because everybody had them as 6 wins, 7 wins. Nobody had this.
Yeah, I'll give them credit in one factor. I think they've done a good job in terms of evaluating running backs. They got a pretty good running back room. I'm going to be very honest on that. I think they have a good running back room. Castellanos is dynamic with his legs. Yes, he has some limitations as a passer, but I think he fits Gus Malzahn's system really well. Like he fits it like a glove. It's the perfect offensive system for him. I think DJU, unfortunately, was just not a good fit with Florida State last year. I think that kind of tanked their season too. And their defense was really good last year, though. So I'm not surprised to see their defense doing so well early on this season. So they're definitely improved. How much, we'll have to see, because I have my questions of is Bama really down now? Like, is the dynasty?
They only played
over?
one game, right? They didn't play this week. I've seen teams win a game the first week, and then they're terrible.
Yeah, so they had that, and then they had East Texas A&M last week, which you can't really take away much from that game. I know people talk about, well, Deuce Robinson, their receiver, their transfer kid, he had 170 yards last week. Yeah, he had 170 yards on East Texas A&M. It's kind of levels to it, so you got to see how does that guy do going forward. So I'll give them flowers on defense. They had a good defense last year. They have a good defense going into this year too. Definitely improved on offense. Like I mentioned earlier in this show, though, I want to see how their game goes against Virginia to get a better gauge on kind of how their team is this season. I do think they're better. You ask me right now, at minimum, I could see them winning 8 games minimum. I think they very well can get to the 8-win mark for sure this year. But we'll see. We'll see. I still think it's a little too early. Again, we got to see how Alabama looks going forward too. Is Alabama just a really bad team this year? Sometimes that happens.
I mean, it could have been a fluke also. Last year we beat the Gators, and by the end of the year, the Gators were saying, if you played us now, we'd beat you. You know, the first game may not mean anything. It's hard to imagine a 2-win team being top 10 team the next year.
It's remarkable.
And right off the bat, for that matter. Where are they right now?
I'll give a couple quick hitters too. I said it before the season. Funny enough, they end up choking against Baylor. I felt that SMU was a one-hit wonder last year. I don't see them being that good of a team this year. I think they're like a 7-win team. Maybe they squeak out 8. I just don't think they're that good of a team. The other thing I'll mention, Syracuse. They're not the same Syracuse as last year.
Oh, no, they snuck by UConn this past weekend.
Yeah. I think Miami's going to get their revenge big time.
Let's hope so.
Stadium this year. That one. And Virginia Tech, man, that program, I don't know what they're going to do, but even the level that they recruit at now, it's nothing even close to what they used to be able to do like a decade ago, 2 decades ago. Beamer ball is not really around there anymore in It's really not.
They're Baby Beamer, though, right? They're Baby Beamer now.
No, that he's at South Carolina now.
Oh, he's in South Carolina. That's right. Okay.
So, and the last one I'll mention, I think people need to circle this name on the calendar. Pittsburgh. I think they're a good team. I think they have a good defense. They have a good quarterback in Holstein. Their running back is a South Florida kid, Desmond Reed. He can play. They got a good, solid team, and I think Miami has a real matchup with them late in the season. I can see Pittsburgh ending up as a ranked team at the end of the season.
No, that would be, and we know Pittsburgh has ruined the dream season for us before. It wouldn't be the first time. So, not that we're there, and I didn't want to think about being there because that means the season's just about over. And it seems like we waited about 6 years for this year. It just took forever. I mean, I think the Panthers have won 2 back-to-back championships between the Canes' last game and Notre Dame, at the start of the season. Q Lockhart, welcome to the show. Facts Geo, Miami is a true team. Absolutely, Q Lockhart. We totally agree. The Jet non-existent pass rush. Who's your Jet talking about? USF?
USF, yeah.
Okay. I think the linebackers and safeties are going to have big games.
Yeah, I could see that happening going into this one.
Mario said this week that that USF retooled their whole D-line in the portal, and as far as their quarterback, he mentioned that he hasn't thrown a pick in roughly 240-plus attempts. So I think it's time for the defense to change it up get a pick this weekend, wouldn't you say? Break that streak.
I know that stat sticks out, but some of it also has to do with the way USF runs their offense. There's a lot of quick game in there, just very short.
It's very fast-paced, fast-paced play calling and offense, etc.
Let's see. Q Lockhart, 305 no-fly zone. That would be a cool shirt, actually. 305 no-fly zone if our secondary can really take off. Miami will easily cover that. Good point, Jet. We're up to, 17 and a half now, we said?
That's what I saw earlier today.
Yeah. Let's see. Jake, Marilyn Millian worked in Dade as an assistant state attorney, then worked in the Miami Circuit Court. Okay. Oh, that's another million. That's this is like Meet the Millions. But let's go with 2 L's on the. Oh, she was on the People's Court from 97 to 2023. Wow. Now she has the Justice for the People. Gio, that could be another relation. Marilyn Millions.
Oh, I remember.
Say it
Yeah,
3 times
People's.
fast, Mando.
I've seen her. I've seen that show.
Say Mando. Marilyn Millions. Say it 3 times.
Marilyn Million.
Jo, being nice, giving them 14, to be honest. Ryan Smith, great to hear he's well. Who was that? What did I miss?
Let's see. One Manuel said here, why is Joshua Moore dropping the ball? He has dropped 2 big plays in 2 games. Wasn't he making all kinds of contested catches during practice? Yes, he was. And Beck has a lot of trust in him. He gets a lot of reps for the first team group too, as an ex-wide receiver as well. The first one, I think you're talking about in the Notre Dame game, that ball was kind of behind him.
Yeah, it was not an easy catch.
That's kind of like a 50-50. In terms of, I call it a dime, what Emory Williams threw to him on Saturday against Bethune-Cookman. He absolutely has to come down with that. That ball was in his hands.
Great throw.
Coaches always tell you that ball hits your hands like right in the breadbasket. You need to come down with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, you got to catch those. The Jet Beck will be a finalist in New York City. We agree. We were saying before you got on, Mando, wouldn't it be amazing if we had the greatest quarterback in Hurricane history last year, and then Beck comes and wins the Heisman Trophy this year? He's the 3rd choice right now, according to Mando and according to Gio on BetMGM.
That's a heck of a rise.
Yes,
That's
quite interesting.
Wow.
Cam got no help whatsoever. I mean, yes and no. Just because his 2 biggest weapons last year are on the practice squad this year, he didn't really get as much help as he could have had. Would Cam have won it all with this team? Would he be better positioned with this team? I do believe this team is better than the last team.
Yeah, I think it's more well-rounded roster.
Offensive line, everything. Even though Damian Martinez and Restrepo are 2 guys that are tough to replace.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. 1 milligram of epinephrine. George Million calls games for ESPN Radio now. He did Canes games once or twice last season. Wow.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
Okay. You two. Maybe we'll have him as a special guest on the show.
I don't know if that'll happen. He actually he blocked me on social media. Not many people blocked me, but
he blocked you.
These are Million Wars on X.
Yeah, that's a story.
It was like the past year or something is on something of some report or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, well,
I think I remember
this is how we did it or whatever." And I said, "Well, this is how we do it now."
Yeah, I remember.
He blocked you. Wow, the Million Wars, Mando.
I remember that. I remember what Gio's talking about.
That was not on my bingo card to hear on this show.
No, he blocked me.
Well, the way to get him, he blocked me. We'll have to have like a battle royal when they come on the show.
Dollar Bill Bob shares here from X. Pat McAfee said, "Bring Xavier Restrepo up from the practice squad on the Titans, even though he runs a 6'1".
Oh my goodness! At least he's going to catch the ball.
Yeah,
Then he gets open. All he does is get open. It's like Chris Carter. All he does is score touchdowns. All Restrepo does is get open.
I will say that their defense kept them in the game. I mean, the Denver, they played good against Knicks. I think the Titans this week play at home against the Rams, and I think it's a good spot for them. I kind of actually like the Titans plus 5.5, but that's a different subject altogether. But I think they're not going to be as bad. Their defense surprised me last week. They played tough.
Yeah, they got a decent defense.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we talked about before you got on, Mando, how Cam did look every bit the number 1 pick. I mean, he was throwing the rockets he was throwing. I think Baldy was talking about him, how he was just he was tossing it. And
Denver's a top
Denver's
3.
Got a great
Denver's got the best. They got the best cornerback in football in Surtain. They got studs everywhere. That Green, I think the guy from San Francisco, Greenlaw, they got a hell of a defense. He didn't look overwhelmed. He didn't look overmatched.
He didn't, even though he got 2 points for my fantasy team.
So Jake says here, the Titans receivers suck. They need to bring X back so that he could show them guys how to actually catch Cam's passes.
Yeah, other than Ridley, there's pretty much nothing there. I mean,
And Gio made a comment before on Ridley because he dropped some balls too. With that,
he had a rough one. But
he had a
other
rough
than him,
one. I don't know what,
other than
I
him,
hate
not
to
much.
say,
I
but
think
you
he's
know,
got to be investigated again because that
because
was.
you know what, that is an addiction. Is an addiction. Is an addiction. They do not go away.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but it was bad.
Yeah,
I
that
watched.
would kill my Calvin Ridley for Offensive Player of the Year bet.
Are you suggesting that
100-1.
Ridley had Denver minus the points last week, guys? Is that what you guys are doing?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if they did an investigation before, they may have to do another one again after watching that game.
Real quick, I was talking to somebody earlier today. I mean, we've all seen football for years. Sidebar, real quick. Did you guys watch the Vikings and the Bears on Monday night?
Yes.
I mean, I get it. First ever career start. McCarthy, the kid from Michigan, the first 3 quarters looked about as humanly possible bad as you could look. He looked like he couldn't even get the snaps off. Then in the fourth quarter, he's like Marino. It was crazy. It was like
That's amazing. Garrett said, "This guy's terrible," and I said, "He's the most."
Maybe it was kind of like could have been first game jitters.
He looked awful the first 3 quarters, like bad, and he flipped it.
I would have bet anything he wasn't going to be good. I know they were talking about him having a good
year. He could sling it. He was throwing it in that fourth quarter, though. He could throw it.
I was very surprised that he turned that game around. It just goes to show that takes a lot from someone. When you start off that slow, your first game, Monday Night Football, the pressure on you, and then you can turn it around like that. Most people don't have the fortitude to do that.
He did good. He did good.
So Aaron Frazier from YouTube shared, no, that was George Sedano, Jorge Sedano. Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's true. George Sedano.
Okay.
I thought so. Okay. George's a good guy. Has he blocked you also, Gio?
No. He actually he follows me. He's commented on some of my stuff.
I saw him at a game after the game.
I'll tell you what, George Million, the guy that used to be on Post or Sun Sentinel that used to work for the newspapers. He's the only guy that's actually blocked me. I think him and there was one reporter way back. I think his name was Matt Porter or Matty Ports.
Oh, I remember him.
2 guys that I've ever
seen him in a while.
Yeah, no, I think he's doing like hockey up in Boston now or something like somewhere.
It was a loser leave town and Gio stayed. I know we have to have the battle of the millions.
I'll tell you what, though. I think when I realized that I was doing something pretty good was quite a few years ago. I'd say maybe about 4 or 5 years ago when guys like George Sedano started following me and Pete Thamel, who does College Game Day, and all these guys started following me. I'm like, man, like that. And sometimes even commenting on my stuff, I was like, whoa, like, this is really gaining traction. Like I'm getting somewhere with this.
Yes, exactly. I felt that way when Mando started following me.
You got to reach for lofty.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
The Jets 305, the Titan OC it was terrible. I agree. That was the worst offensive performance from a coaching staff. Callahan or whoever. I said that to Gio earlier. They're getting Pollard running 8 yards, but then they're handing off on second. They're not trying to put Ward in any positive position to throw the ball. And then before the half, they're having him drop deep into the end zone to throw passes.
No, I want to see him this. I want to see him this week. I saw most of that game. I think the defense had a lot to do with that. Denver. Their defense is really tough. I think this week you'll see a much better performance.
But the Rams are a good team too. But I do like the offensive line also for Tennessee. They were blowing open holes. Pollard was getting some runs.
They're playing at home. I think they'll be fine.
Okay.
They'll be okay this week.
So the one thing here, Jet says Ridley point shaving again, Nowadays, though, you don't even have to go ahead and you just have to bet against yourself. I'm going to take the under on how many catches I make. It's like you don't even have to do the whole game anymore.
You just there was a recent scandal with some Fresno State basketball players that
that's true.
The news broke, I think it's within the last 24 hours. All 3 have been indefinitely suspended from playing collegiate basketball because they were doing player props and purposely fixing certain parts of the game to cash in. Just crazy stuff.
Yep.
Nowadays, like you see a ref make a call. It's like, did he make that call on purpose or is he betting? Because you can bet everywhere. You can have a burner phone now, and just anyone can have a burner phone. And who's going to stop them if they have that of putting money on the game? It's really scary if you think of that. Between that and AI, we don't know what the heck's going on anymore.
So
that's another point. Let's see.
Cam should have won the Heisman. Miami should have 2 QBs back-to-back as Heisman finalists. I could see Beck definitely being a finalist as long as he continues up the performance.
Yeah.
It would
Jet,
have to be a phenomenal year for Cam to win that based on what he was against. That was a generational type player that did that.
Jet
both.
305 mentions here, Todd Monken is an elite play caller. Yes, he is. There's a reason why Beck loves him. There's a reason why Todd Monken vouched for Beck to Miami's coaches as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Monken played a really big part in that.
I didn't know that. We just learned it right here.
Jet 305 said also, Bain would probably need at least 10 plus sacks to have a shot at the top 3 in the draft. Well, he's at a sack and a half right now, and he's got 10 other games. If Miami makes the postseason, you never know. Never know.
He leads the nation in interceptions for a defensive end, I think. Or at least he's tied.
Yeah, his freshman year, he had, I believe it was like 7.5, and that was like through half a season. So,
and they held him. Wasn't he the most held guy in the ACC? He was held about 20 times, it seemed.
Yeah.
I mean, we are used to having guys. Just a few years ago, we had 2 defensive ends in the first round. Phillips and Rousseau.
So, no, you're right. Kellen Wiley, who is Kellen Wiley Sr.'s father of Kellen Wiley Jr., freshman linebacker on the roster, threw some views up here. He also mentioned a little further down, did you guys speak about the young kids getting snapped this week? So, didn't speak about it for this week, but we spoke about a Bethune-Cookman game. But definitely an opportunity again this game. Last year when Miami played USF, they got some young guys in that fourth quarter. Especially you go back to the 91-yard touchdown run from Jordan Lyle. He got in late in the game, and he made the most of his opportunity. Set a Miami record, too, actually.
Well, if we get a lot of young guys in this week, that means we have a nice, comfortable lead. We got the game in the bag. So I think, let's do it. Let's do it again this week.
Let's see. Jet 305, they had Grant at 13 to the Dolphins as well, so 3 top 15 picks. It's true. He was talking about the Michigan defense.
Yeah, because I was saying somebody had 2, but now I'm thinking it may have been basketball. That some team that wasn't that good had 2 top 5 or 2 top 5 or 10 picks in basketball, and they weren't any good. It was something. I'm trying to figure it out.
One Manuel said, how is Georgia's offense doing? Is Gunnar Stockton the QB fearless and confident leader like they said they wanted? Heard he wet the bed against Austin Peay. Kirby Smart said it was just the wet dream he was having.
Juan Manuel.
Stockton's been solid and steady for them. I've said before though, before this season, I wasn't entirely impressed when he went in there for Georgia last year.
We'll see this week.
We'll see. They get a challenge with Tennessee. We'll see what he does. But we'll see. Like we said, we'll see how it goes.
It was basketball. I said Rutgers. So in basketball, the Spurs drafted Dylan Harper from Rutgers in the number 2 pick, and the Jazz drafted Ace Bailey from Rutgers in the number 5 pick. And I didn't even know Rutgers had a good team. That's what I was thinking about. So pretty scary. So I just needed to make sure I wasn't totally crazy.
Aaron Frazier said, I'm hearing USF fans using most of their allotted tickets and coming down to Miami from here in Tampa Bay. It's only about a 4-hour drive. Oh.
They will be. I think they'll be coming down. A lot of people, a lot of USF grads. A lot of USF grads are Hurricane fans still. But a lot of the crowd. That's what we need as fans to be the 12th man. We need every fan to go. We're basically almost sold out of season tickets, aren't we? Almost every game.
They've already sold. I think when Radakovich mentioned it, I think it was like at 48,000. That like their second highest allotment they've sold.
For
season.
It was near 50. I know that it was near 50.
Oh yeah, so there's 1,500 on one of the like ticket StubHub or something, but. The Canes fans just have to go. If you're not, there's 8 games, 6 more games left. The season is already 1 quarter over the home season. 6 more games. We're playing a top 20 team. We have the highest ranking team we've had in years. If you don't go to this game, and you can go to this game, there's something wrong. If you can go, if you're healthy enough to go, if you can get to the stadium, get there. We need as much orange and green. We need to flush that quarterback out with our 12th man noise.
Yeah.
And the start time is beautiful. 4:30. It's not noon, 100 degrees out there. It's not that bad. Exactly. It's a good start time.
Overall, we've had a great schedule.
Yeah.
So Juan Manuel asked here as well. He said, is Samson Okunlola the official starter at guard? No, he's not the official starter at left guard right now, but he's making a strong case to be. The line looks really good when he's in, and I'm sure everyone's seen the stuff I've posted about him the last 2 weeks. Miami's considered, according to Pro Football Focus, Miami's best pass blocking offensive lineman through the first 2 games of the season. So
it's amazing.
Power to him and development that comes from within that program with Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal on the offensive line overall. They've done a really good job. But the other part to this question is 2-part. And also, why don't we see more Gerard Pringle or Hellcat to complement Miami's power running? Well, those guys are further down the depth chart. Miami's coaches, they have a lot of trust in Mark Fletcher and Shamar Brown and Jordan Lyle, Jordan Lyle should be full go this week.
Good.
He was basically dressed and everything for the last game, but they just held him out at the last minute. They didn't feel the need to play him. So you give Pringle 5 attempts, he's going to break a long one. Well, you saw that in the Bethune-Cookman game. They gave him a hole, and he was gone and off to the race to the end zone. I think he showed that speed. I know he's been clogged. It's fast. I believe it's like a 10.5 in the 100-meter. So a lot of speed there. Jet 305, FSU is full gold.
Fool's gold, I'll tell you.
I'm waiting to see on them. I don't want to rush to say they're fool's gold, but he also mentioned here, Bama is not the Bama of old. They're big and lazy now. Jet 305 said, he agreed with my point on Notre Dame. He said, I agree. Notre Dame will be 11-1 at the end of the season. I could definitely see them doing that. Aaron Frazier said, Notre Dame has another loss or 2 coming. I could see against USC and NC State. Why? Facing QBs who are decent to good passing the ball. I don't think they'll lose to NC State. I could see it with USC. I know it's still early in the season, but this kid that they have, Jaden Maiava, he can sling the ball. Maybe Lincoln Riley's got himself a guy now. We'll see if USC's defense holds up, but they could be a sleeper team this year. Kellen Wiley Sr. said Bama's coaching style has changed. Yeah. I'll ask you guys about that. Do you think it's a culture thing right now going on with Alabama, with Kalen DeBoer being the head coach now?
You know, all great programs they can't make a run forever. Even in those days when Miami came to power, Alabama had been great. Then Alabama dropped a little bit. You can't dominate the sport forever, especially now when there's different types of money. Everybody's on an even playing field. We know Alabama and the SEC had a unique opportunity to take advantage of college football. The head of the NCAA was basically backing them. Nobody said a thing about them. If Miami sneezed, would be on probation. And, the Big Ten was nothing. All they cared about is the SEC, and Bama had a big advantage. So I understand that Nick Saban would have been different, and I think Nick Saban was a fantastic coach. But I just think that, the opportunity now for other teams is there. And I don't believe for 1 minute that Alabama does not have the money to pay NIL. People that say they've only got – I don't believe that. There's plenty of money in Bama. There's plenty of people. It's a big university. They just redid the whole university. It's beautiful now, I think. And on top of it, there's a lot of big-time alumni there. So they've got as much money as anybody, except for they don't have the advantage of being able to give everybody they want to. Nick Saban's not flying his helicopter to an American Heritage anymore.
Yeah. I look at it this way. I don't think it's a coincidence to Gio's question that Saban left when he did, because he saw what was coming. I mean, do you think it's a coincidence that he literally leads and all of a sudden it's the NIL, the signing day?
Mando, I'll ask you something on that, actually, because I know you've been in quite a few group chats I've been in over the years.
Me? No.
Yeah. So I know this is fact because I've said this at one point. I told people, I think it was in that one specifically, I said, I see Nick Saban retiring within the next year or two. And this was back like 2022, around that range, or 2021, right around there, because I saw what was happening with NIL, and I'm like, okay, like I know the way Alabama is structured and all these paper bag, under the table deals, and where's the advantage anymore? where's that advantage that they had over multiple teams that the SEC had overall? And well, that, and then just the exorbitant amount of money that these kids are making now through NIL deals. I just know it in Saban's mind, like he doesn't want to deal with that. He really doesn't. I know people have talked about, maybe Saban will come back to coaching. I'll be surprised if he comes back to coaching, at least still in NIL era, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I'd be shocked if he does come back. Yeah. But I know you can confirm that, though. I did bring that up, and people were like, what? Saban retiring? Why would he retire? He's got a dynasty and everything. But
how old is Saban?
I'm sure he's got a 60s, probably. I would imagine.
I think
mid 60s, late. Oh, is he? Well, he's got a cushy.
Maybe he's gonna say, "I'm not going to be the Miami Dolphin coach now," and he comes back, takes over Mike McDaniel. That's really what he wants, though. He would love to be in the NFL and win now. These guys want to prove they're omnipotent, if that's the word, and they can win everything. I don't think
he has anything to prove at the collegiate level anymore.
Exactly. But the NFL, he does.
With his ideology and the way he views like roster construction and the way he did it at Alabama and his short stint at LSU, I think it's more favorable for him in the NFL now than it is in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard. I hope I have the stat right, but and I'll get to DeBoer in a second. But I believe it was under Saban, Alabama lost. I believe it's 4 games in Saban's career to unranked teams. DeBoer's lost 4 in a year and 2 weeks or whatever it is. And yeah, you can think, we're Canes fans. We can mock FSU, but they ran for 230 against Alabama. Nobody runs for 230 against Alabama. So clearly, they're a name right now. They're not. Obviously, they're ranked. Well, they're not ranked anymore. But yeah, I mean, DeBoer. Can you imagine the pressure right now in Alabama? Mm-hmm. They even asked that lady. I think it was a viral about if she won the lotto. What's the first thing she would do? I would fire DeBoer, and I would fire the AD. So, yeah, DeBoer is on a very hot seat right now, piping hot actually in Alabama.
By the way, there's a super chat comment that came in here from Muhammad Hussein.
Super chat?
A super chat comment, yeah. So he shared here, good to see you, Brett. I've been going to your store since it was in a warehouse 12 years ago.
There you go.
Where is heaven on earth? Pack the rock.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It was Muhammad that said that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Muhammad. We appreciate you coming all these years.
That's cool.
Tim Neary, if anyone knows him, wants to come out with an OG warehouse shirt for those people that went to the warehouse. So stay tuned. We are trying to come out with that. We were in the warehouse from 2010 to 2014, the old warehouse days. Wow. So thank you very much for being a huge supporter of CanesWear. We really appreciate it.
So, Brett, you also had a comment on the shirt about the Gators fly thing. Jet 305 said here, they wouldn't let anybody into the stadium if it said die.
That's so true. I ran that by Mando,
I'm telling you, it won't.
They wouldn't have let people. I thought when Smack sent me that, said, Brett, you want us, how do you like this? I said, devise a shirt for me. And I said, they're not going to let die fly, especially now. Yeah, no. And the University of Miami. So there was no way. I remember when my son was wearing, when I was in the warehouse days, I was selling that Nevin Shapiro shirt, who will be funny at the store tomorrow doing a podcast with Willis McGahee, because Willis McGahee and Brian McKinney will be there from 6 to 8 as a meet and greet. But we had a shirt about Nevin. Maybe I should have Nevin wear the shirt in the store if I had it. What was it? It was bitches get stitches. No, snitches get bitches. Snitches get stitches for being dirty bitches. And Garrett, my son, was wearing that, and they said, you cannot come in with that shirt. And I was selling them out in the parking lot, because when we first started, we did doing that. And Mando couldn't get with the Lux shirt. I
wasn't the only one. There were several people.
Shirt.
Some people did get in. I guess it depends who the attendant at the gate was. But I'm telling you, my wife was like laughing. The lady literally pointed at me from 10 feet away. You're not coming in with that. I'm like,
you should have taken off your shirt and flexed right there. You would have mesmerized her, and then did an end around and snuck around.
After that rainstorm, my socks were soaked. My shirt was soaked. It might have been a good thing that I changed shirts.
The wet T-shirt contest starring Mando.
So
Speaking of that, let me say one thing. We have the upside down hat coming. We have a Miami Hurricane new upside down hat coming from 47. You know, the one. So we do have that coming. We'll have that hopefully for the Gator game, as well as all the junk headbands. We got about 15 different really cool new junk headbands coming in. Tons of new stuff coming in. We'll have it. We have a lot coming in this week and a lot for next week. So it's really exciting. So all I'm asking is the Canes can please keep on winning.
Yeah, we got a comment came in from Facebook. Marcus Mitchell shared here. Belt to ass.
Oh yeah.
B2A. B2A.
Yeah. Get this win. Yeah, get this win, and then you go into a primetime game against UF at home, man. Let's go.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
For sure.
We want to hear. We want to hear. You know, Miami is back. I think who McAfee said it. Miami is back. I mean, people are saying it, and so I do believe a lot of people. Miami is getting just so much play. Like McAfee, he's had them. Other people are talking about the Canes, which is great. They're actually talking to us about us now. I think it's the real deal. Let's just hope Mario can continue to make the magic happen with the players and doesn't mess up on the field too much.
So Chris Gons from YouTube shared here. I am new guys to the show. Go Canes. Beat USF. Malachi Tony, CJ Daniels, and I can't wait for JoJo Trader. Yeah, I think JoJo Trader is really gonna open people's eyes pretty soon. As long as he's healthy, I think it's gonna translate and happen on the field. And hey, Mando, you got one of your best fans here, the Mullet Run Duck. He said, "Announce to Mando that I'm here."
But yeah,
better. I see the super chat. I just got to that. That's really cool. So Mondo's getting. We're all getting called out. Look at this, like celebrity row up here right now.
No, I love Better Duck. Better Duck's a great dude.
Better Duck is awesome, and he's a religious. He's a religious viewer of the show, which is fantastic. And
I tell you,
Muhammad and Green. Thank you again, Muhammad. We appreciate that. Appreciate your continued patronage. Great to see you as well.
Chris Gons also said we got Florida on primetime TV. I think yes, yeah. Your thinking is correct. They haven't confirmed it yet, at least the exact time, but it'll either be 7 or 7:30.
Yeah.
Is gone if he gets destroyed by LSU. Charles Dawson from YouTube. The gates are. It's going to be a nightmare for them next week.
Yeah. What did he say? That game day is gone. He said.
No, that. Charles Dawson from YouTube, he shared here. Napier is gone if he gets.
Napier. Well, I mean, you alluded to their schedule, the gauntlet of at LSU, at Miami, Texas at home, and then I think after that they
still got Georgia on the schedule too.
At FSU. My God, the schedule is crazy. That schedule is crazy.
I think that schedule got even worse for them. Like the USF loss and then seeing Florida State, what they did to Alabama early on. It's like Florida fans must be like, damn, like what type of season are we in for? Like FSU just went 2-10 last year. What's going to happen to us?
Yeah. I mean, as far as us,
question about the air raid.
That what happened?
Did you get Aaron's thing about the air raid? The USC last year had 370 yards passing, 190 rushing against Notre Dame in the last game of the year. Did they? I didn't realize that.
I believe so.
It's still hard to see that we have an air raid offense. I mean, I used to think the air raid is you're just bombing the ball all the time, but that's not the case. The air raid was first started by, was it the guy with, not Houston, was it Houston? The Houston coach was the air raid guy, right?
Andre Ware and all that. You know, back in the day.
I think it was, but then we got one of the. Who do we have? Was it Lashley from the air raid? Who was from the air raid before that?
You had Lashley, Dana Holgerson.
Well, Brett, you mentioned USC. Their quarterback is now Louisville's quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see them. We'll see him on.
It is crazy to see these guys bouncing around everywhere. Our quarterback was the Georgia quarterback. I mean, the Florida State quarterback was the Boston College quarterback, right?
Oh, that's not going to stop.
Everybody is just if you need a flow chart now to see where all the quarterbacks are. It's like, okay, this guy was here last year. This guy was here.
That's why actually last week Illinois played Duke, and the announcers were alluding before the game that Illinois is a rarity where the quarterback and staff were been together for 3 years.
Wow,
and
it is.
We saw what they did to Duke. It started off as a defensive battle, and all of a sudden Illinois went nuts. Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be rare that somebody stays, especially a quarterback. For 3 or 4 years at the same place.
I think Miami get a transfer guy again.
I've been telling everybody that because people have been saying, and I said, according to Gio.
Yeah, now you would have 2 straight years. You would have 2 straight years of proven really good quarterback play here. Why, if you were a transfer kid looking to go somewhere, why wouldn't you look at Miami? So
basically Oklahoma did the same thing a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, the run of QBs you had, it went from Baker Mayfield to
Jalen Hurts,
Kyler Murray, and then Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And after Hurts, then they went to high school guys. They kind of built up and got ready for Spencer Rattler. He had the one good year, and then Caleb Williams came in. They had the controversy, and then Rattler transferred to South Carolina, and then Caleb followed Lincoln Riley to USC, won a Heisman. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I mentioned before when they were going after Ward. I said, look, because people were like, oh, the transfer guy and this and that. I said, if he has a really good year and his draft stock explodes, you start this thing where guys are going to be really interested in coming to the game to play
it's got to start somewhere.
Because the O-line, the running backs, the weapons at receiver and the receiving game, I think it's a favorable situation for many quarterbacks. I do believe, though, wholeheartedly, I'd be shocked if it's anybody but a transfer guy, even next season. I would be very surprised if it's not. Let's see here. Jet 305 mentioned this here. Get those back-to-back state champs shirts ready, Chief.
That's we have the state champs, but back-to-back state champs, used to be going through Florida was like the national championship. So I agree. Let's see a show of hands. Would you like back-to-back state champs?
Mr. HD shared here. What up, Caleb? Jet 305. Northwestern to the U bridge being rebuilt. Yeah, the relationships are pretty good there. Jet 305 ain't right. Game day for FSU came from Raymond Rodriguez from YouTube. Very possible if Miami and Florida State go into that game undefeated.
Oh yeah,
you're talking about. Well, Miami will still be in the top 5 if they go undefeated up to that point. Florida State, they're sitting at 10 right now. I know there's some matchups that are going on right now. They could be as high as maybe 8, 7 going into that game.
Yeah, I would have to look at the schedule. I don't see how they don't go there. If that
does Florida State have 1 or 2 more games before we play them?
I know they have Virginia coming up.
2 or 3, I mean.
I know they have Virginia, but who else do they have?
Is Virginia at home or on the road?
I'll tell you right now. Oh, shoot. Pressed the wrong one. FSU.
My wife was there. Oh, honey.
Yeah, I saw the hello.
Yes. Hello.
Let's see. So, yeah, number 10, Florida State. They got Kent State at home this weekend.
There's a powerhouse.
And then, is that? No. They got a bye week this weekend. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, they got a bye week this week.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I saw.
They got a bye week right now. Then next week, they play Kent State at home. And then they go on the road for a Friday night game against Virginia.
Those Friday night games. Okay. All right.
Virginia plays a lot of Friday nights. Virginia and USF. So they got Friday night. We have the bye before FSU. So interesting.
Yeah. We'll be well rested.
Yes. Now, Mando, do you know what Florida State or Florida State and Virginia have in common?
What's up?
Let me get comfy in my chair for this. Go ahead. What do you got?
No, it's a Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson is built Virginia, and Thomas Jefferson basically had his grandson is USF as FSU, so it's part of the whole Jefferson family. In case you guys weren't, nothing to do with football, and they're both in the ACC.
I was wondering where you're going with that one. I had no idea.
My son, since he went to the University of Virginia, has given me all the Virginia information. And if he's listening now, he's probably saying, "Oh, Dad, you blew it. That wasn't right." So who knows?
Hey, Dad, good show, but you made it come to a screeching halt in the last 10 minutes.
That's funny.
With that Jefferson shit.
I used to love the Jeffersons. Moving on up, Upper East Side. That was a great show.
That was good.
So Jefferson 305 shares here. How it should be: Miami versus Florida State in a top 10 matchup.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be so phenomenal. It'll only be phenomenal if we win. But Yeah, that'll be so
Yeah,
phenomenal.
you generally have a lot of Miami fans drive up there. I think you would have a cavalry of Miami fans
You
drive up
would,
there.
but
That game, that'd be crazy.
that would be amazing. And
you look at the idea that was formed of making the ACC back in the day. You know, that Virginia Tech would be a competitor in there, and that Miami and Florida State as well to be in the conference championships. If that happens, that Florida State ends up in the ACC game with Miami this year, the vision that the ACC had so many years ago,
And finally, yeah.
SVP was saying that. SVP was saying that was the vision when they brought Miami and Florida State. And we're going to be a dominating football. We already have the basketball. Now we're going to be a dominating football. We're bringing two perennial powers into. So that would be amazing. I mean, if Miami and Florida State, let's say, do that, and they do play in a rematch in the ACC game, do you think there's any chance in Miami or Florida State get good again? Do you think there's any chance that they're going to get that contract renewed? I mean, get that contract redid, because it's all about ESPN. If ESPN gave the ACC a new contract, they'd have no money issues, correct?
I think if you see that scenario start to play out where Miami and Florida State kind of meet up in the conference championships the next couple years, I definitely think it throws a wrench into everything. I fully expect Miami to end up in the Big Ten, you know, if that doesn't happen. But I think it does create an interesting conversation if Miami and Florida State, year in, year out, being great teams, top 10, top 15, matchups like that during the season, and then rematches in the conference championship. And it's all about TV viewership. If Miami and Florida State are both top 10, which they should be going into that October 4th matchup, that game is going to do ridiculous numbers TV-wise. It just astronomical.
What was the Miami Notre Dame game? Wasn't that one of the highest watched games?
Second
for a regular season game of a Sunday night game, it was second all time. According to their TV ratings, second most viewed all time
for a college football game.
College football regular season game, and then they matched it up with playoff games as well. So if you put in the playoff games, like recent playoff games, and that it ranked like 6 all time of any college football game. So just numbers. Let's see here. Jet305 said, we will have 5 ranked wins by the end of the year after winning the ACC. Yeah, you never know. Notre Dame, USF,
like the old days.
Florida State could be ranked. I think Pitt could be ranked at the end of the year. We'll see. It could be. He also shared, Tim Harris will not be forgiven for such a disservice to not get Isaac Brown. Yeah, it's a tough one, the story I mentioned earlier. Let's see here. Slug Bruce. Zachariah Poyser leaves a lot to be desired. Is the game too fast for him? Well, it's the first 2 games. He came from the FCS level. He was a freshman All-American last year. Like I mentioned earlier, there hasn't been any lapses with him in terms of coverage. Just would like to see him improve in terms of like the angles he takes and tackling. So this week's a really good challenge for him.
I just see Muhammad ask, bring back the Gator Hater shirt. It is back. We have the Gator Hater shirt. It is back. We have it available in the store and online. I need a green screen, I think. So the Gator Hater is back, baby. All right, that is one of our Smack shirts that we have that we made a few years back. So Muhammad, you got your wish.
So Juan Manuel said, Gio, why doesn't North Carolina come to South Beach anymore? Is it Miss Hudson's fault she doesn't trust Bill Belichick to visit?
Yes.
Blue from YouTube shared, Pete Akos reported today that Isaiah Horton got $700,000 from Alabama for this season. Yeah, that's true. Miami wasn't going to go up to that. They didn't think he was worth that dollar amount as a player. You know, it's college football has become a business now. I will say though, it was the list was SEC wide receivers. The guy that was at the bottom of that list, Aaron Anderson, he's a really good, damn good player for LSU. Like even last year and this year coming into this season, he especially really stood out in the Clemson game. Clemson's got some DBs. So the fact that guy is only getting 300,000 compared to Isaiah Horton getting 700,000. I think Aaron Anderson is a tremendous player. So LSU's got that guy dirt cheap right now. So that report, I don't think that helps out in the locker room there.
How is Horton doing right now?
Hasn't had a lot of production with Alabama through their first couple of games. We'll see this weekend. They got another matchup, but
how do you think we would be differently if he was here? Would we not have gone? Would we not have gone after CJ?
I think they still would have gone after CJ because they really liked CJ even the year prior.
That's right. Mario did say we've been trying to get him for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah.
I think if
would
CJ
be playing this, Horton would be starting.
Yeah, well, I think if CJ came last year, I don't think you see Sam Brown on last year's roster.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like if Isaiah Horton stayed, he's an X receiver, possibly would have been there. I know Miami's got Keelan Marion there right now. He's a little bit smaller than your ideal X receiver, but he can stretch the field, so that's why he's playing there. I don't know. I don't know where he would have figured into it. It is what it is at this point. Everyone.
The only problem is we have about 48 of his jerseys that we made for the family last year, so we've got them there. If anyone needs an Isaiah Horton jersey, we've got him. Who's number 2 on the team this year?
Jordan Lyle.
Oh, wait a second. So Horton, Lyle. I got to figure out how we can do that. All right, let's see what we can do. I mean, 2 has been a great number for Miami Hurricanes. Willis McGahee will be in the store. John Beeson, one of the linebackers, Rohan Marley was number 2.
What wasn't it old school Charles Farms? Am I wrong?
Charles Farms. The 2 has been a very big.
Great
numbers.
Cooper as
JoJo's
well.
barely played, and he's number 1.
Cooper,
I mean, at what point in time did they say, do you think they were like saying, does this guy really deserve number 1?
Well, here's the thing. Mario's made it very clear with the program that you get that number 1, you have to be a dude. Like you absolutely have to be a heck of a player. So I don't think that number 1 was just given just to be given because, for example, he wasn't wearing that number 1 back in spring before practices started and back then and everything. That came after spring. So
now the question is he going to be a guy that if he doesn't play, that they're going to take for granted and he's going to dance all over Florida State or that? I mean, that's a great weapon to have that is not producing.
Yeah, I think it's coming very soon. I think he's going to open people's eyes really soon. I've seen JoJo Trader in practice. I've gotten feedback on him from people that have seen the private sessions. He can be a difference maker. I know everyone's like, oh, well, he's always hurt and this and that. He should be good to go very soon. So we'll see.
So Trader, Daniels, Malachi. Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Catch all those last few. JoJo's going to pop, according to Ari. You got that one Disney, Aaron, correct? Disney, ABC, ESPN, all in with SEC. They're starting. I think watch for Fubu to be carrying all this. By the way, that's just an inside joke.
Brett, listen to this. There's some recent mocks that have Carson Beck being expected as the draft pick for the Miami Dolphins in the next draft.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That'd be interesting. I mean, they got Ewers, who I think. I don't know if they're – I like Ewers the way he's playing, but, he was a 6th rounder. And still, the whole Ewers versus Beck. Ewers could have came back and got $4 million, just like Beck. Is Beck getting $4 million?
Is not exactly, but near that ballpark.
And then, and Beck will come back as the number 1. If Beck would have gone to the draft this year, he probably would have been about a 5th rounder.
Who?
Beck, if he would have gone to the draft this year?
No, he would have gone higher than that.
He would have gone higher. So, so Beck stayed in school right now, played it right, but that would be great if he comes to Miami because, I was, just as one thing, when there was the draft, I had put on Twitter at the time, I said, who do you want as your draft pick? And I put it out there, and 95% of the people, maybe 98, wanted Tua. I wanted Herbert. I was all over Herbert. I wanted Herbert so bad. I said, listen, he has not had the same offensive coordinator more than 1 year in a row. Mario was the coach. I mean, he didn't have any guys that were stars. There were no first, second receivers, running backs. He had one offensive lineman. I thought Herbert is the guy. Now, granted, Tua you could say has done as well as Herbert, but right now, if you're asking Miami Dolphin fans, who would you rather have, Tua or Herbert? The way Herbert looked the other day, I mean, I'd have to say Herbert. And so I'm going to go on record as saying I wish they would have drafted Herbert. Nothing against you, Tua, because your family, forget it. Rewind that. If the Tua family comes to the store, they're wonderful people. I do love them. Forget it. I don't mean that. But for right now, the way
that was
it's
a quick
looking,
recovery. Quick recovery.
Yes, the Tua family is unbelievable. Beautiful family. I did not say that. Luckily, nobody watches this show.
Speaking of coming back to Miami this weekend, Patriots got Borregales coming back for the Patriots, coming to face
Dolphin Derek calls him Dolphin Derek, and he's wearing a Patriot shirt at the game. I heard enough about that.
Okay.
But yeah, so the Dolphins do very well against New England. I don't think Tua's ever lost to New England.
Yeah. So let's see here. Juan Manuel said, "Are we going to see more Luka Gilbert and Brock Schott?" I certainly hope we see more of Brock Schott. It's a vertical threat as a tight end. I think he could bring. I think he could definitely bring some production to Miami's offense from the tight end position.
Luka Gilbert. Okay, sorry.
Shaylin Noel, 700,000 H to destroy your own NFL stock. Yeah, you know, sometimes it raises the question with NIL. Is the short-term gain better than the long-term goal? And, you know, Horton would have been in a more favorable position coming back into this season. And, you know, it is what it is. Aaron Frazier said, "I'm glad Horton got the money, but he is third or fourth at Bama, where at Miami he could have been number one." I don't think he was a true number one, to be honest. I think he was a solid number 2 or number 3 guy, but I don't think Isaiah Horton was a number 1.
I don't think so either. Didn't he have a big drop in the game against Syracuse, or was it?
He did, actually, a few in the last few games to end the season last year. I think he was a good player. I don't think
he's not a number 1. No.
I don't think he was a true number 1, and Miami didn't see it that way either. Their coaching staff didn't see it like that. Raymond Rodriguez, Pringle has explosion, and Bryce Fitzgerald pick in the end zone was amazing. Future is bright. Yeah, Bryce Fitzgerald, you're going to hear more of him throughout this year. Coaches are really excited about him. Aaron Frazier, I laugh at the fans calling out Miami not having an on-campus stadium when USF is building an on-campus stadium. I'm like, dummies. Miami has a small campus, and USF and UCF had huge multiple blocks campuses. Yeah.
And how many places can say they play in a stadium where the national championship is going to be this year? And wouldn't it be amazing if we're playing we have 8 home games. If we don't win if we just don't get a bye or something like that, we'd have a home game number 9, correct? And if we're in the playoffs, and then we play in the national championship, we could literally have 10 games. But wouldn't that be amazing to see us this year in the national championship?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, the national championship is at Hard Rock Stadium this year.
Exactly. Gio, wake up.
I think Gio's been drinking and not Brett.
Well, I know that. I've been missing half the show, but Gio, no, I said Gio. Yes, it's that, exactly. It's that. Can you imagine that we're sitting there, we're having our show and sitting there at Hard Rock Stadium for the national championship? That would be phenomenal.
Well, back in the old days, we had all those Orange Bowl, Natty games,
Orange Bowl games, exactly. 83.
It's funny because before the season, I looked at it, and obviously we were not projected to be in the top 10 as far as national title odds hopes. But now things have changed a little bit. So
still 20-1, I think, Mando. You can still go over to Hard Rock and slop and get 20-1 there. But you're right. We play in a stadium that's going to have the national championship, and we've had the Super Bowl here. So I don't know. And the noise factor in this stadium is as good as it gets. Plus,
for those if it's not obviously
they don't let most people.
It only seats about 60, 65, which is nothing compared to others that seat 80, 90, or 100K.
Right.
But
that's surprising. Yeah, you're right.
If you haven't been there, the way they reconstructed it, it holds in the noise or whatever the hell they did. But it's loud. It gets really loud in there. It really does.
I'm surprised, really, that we're one of the stadiums they still pick because it is so small.
It's South Florida, man. I mean, the same way the reason they always pick for Super Bowls, New Orleans and Arizona. I think they always pick. They're always going to pick.
One year, that was fun.
Let's see here. Martin Dubé shared. Nick Saban is 73. Yeah, I mean,
thought
wow.
he was in his 70s. Thank you, Martin. I thought
He does a good job on game day. Also, I will say he does.
Actually, I like Nick Saban. I hated Nick Saban. I'm not going to take that Alabama job. But, when you take away the anger of things, I like his sense of humor. I love the commercial he does,
What's that commercial?
With the bed and breakfast, whatever it is.
Yeah, with the commercial with the couple, and he's like, "These are the rules," and he's telling the guys with the chicken.
I love his dry sense of humor.
Yeah, he's funny.
So, Blue mentioned here. This is a great comment here for you, Mando. Blue said, "The workers I encountered loved the F the Luck shirt at the stadium." Man, so they singled out Mando.
So I went into the wrong gate then, apparently, I guess.
Mando. You did. Geez. Next time you got to have you got to do something, Mando. Maybe wear a jacket or something like that. That don't see your shirt. If you wear we'll make a shirt specially designed for you, Mando.
All I know is that I don't want to have a loss this weekend. You don't want to go into next week with an L. We got to win this game.
It's all about winning. It's all about winning. It's out there. Just win, baby.
I mean, if there was any doubt or motivation for the blessing in disguise, I mean, if UF wins last week, maybe we're thinking, oh, this is a cakewalk. But the staff and the players saw this same team go up into Gainesville and get a win. So there's no motivation that's got to be said. You're a 17.5-point favorite. Just kick their ass. Play your game. Fly to the football on defense, and I think we'll be just fine.
But with spreads so prevalent, you can see them everywhere. Everyone can have Hard Rock. Everyone can look at everything. And these kids are looking at, this is a good team they're ranked, but we are 17-point favorites. Do you think any of the kids look at that and say, oh, we got no problem here?
Oh, this day and age, there's no way you don't look at it. We were talking earlier about the Fresno State. Gio mentioned the players, and with the betting, it's literally on your phone. You don't have to go to a sports book and go in person. You could just go to Bet Online, Hard Rock, MGM. It's on your phone. You don't have to leave your couch. Boop, boop, that's it. On X, all you do is X. People are talking about betting. People are talking about anytime touchdowns for Derrick Henry. They're talking. It's nonstop. It's nonstop.
So Jet,
Brandon made a good point here. The Orange Bowl is in the playoff for a quarterfinal game this year. Are they?
I believe so.
So we can play we can play 11 home games.
Yeah, but that if we play the quarterfinal, that means we're not a top 4 seed, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's the only way you would play. Or am I wrong on that? Maybe I'm wrong.
It goes to first. The quarterfinal is the second round, isn't it? It's the first game they play. The teams play at home. The first game they play at home, the better team plays at home. Then they have the guys with the byes. And the second
that's right.
round,
Because
quarterfinal.
You're right.
The third round is so Miami could actually play 11 home games this year.
Well,
that's a great advantage.
I mean,
that's what everybody. I want to take a shirt. Yeah, we played 11 home games, but we're the national championship, bitch.
So
always thinking about business.
Jet 305 says here, Miami will be back once they finish this year off and win the ACC. I don't even think that's enough. I think standard for Miami fans, it's always about competing for championships. So if they can find a way into the postseason and they can make some noise in there, I think that's when people will say, okay, Miami is back.
Yeah, you got to make a playoff. You got to make it this year.
This is the year. If we don't make it this year.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Vegas Kane said, make an alligator Alcatraz t-shirt for next week.
Oh.
There you go. Can that would be actually that'd be kind of a neat shirt, actually.
Let me tell you, that fan base talks so much shit. Like that fan base really. I don't think Florida State fans are. They might have been over the years more of a rival than Miami and UF. Obviously, we put up SU more, but UF's fans talk a lot of shit, bro. They really, really do.
They do, and it's like you would never think that we beat them 41-8 last year. It's like they won the game.
No, the comments were always too that they said even after that, weeks later when Lagway started playing more, even though he did play in that Miami-Florida game, but they still say it regardless. They're like, oh, if Lagway played, we would have won that game. We would have smacked you guys. And I'm just like,
Lord.
What?
They used to say that about Ronald Reagan, Teflon Ronnie. That's them. They're Teflon people. It's like, oh, we're Teflon. It didn't really happen. It didn't stick to us. That wasn't our team. If.
I want to see how they do it at LSU this Saturday night. I'm curious to watch that game and see how it goes.
Let's see.
That would be interesting.
Aaron Fraser mentioned Disney, ABC, ESPN is all in with the SEC. Yeah, very true. Remember, they are cutting money across the board. They got the SEC. They will not be looking to give the ACC more money. That won't till 2036. Yeah, it's so many things that can come into play. I still think Miami Big Ten in the long run, unless something crazy happens along the way with the ACC.
So you think it'll still be like an AFC, NFC, NFL type of deal, like two big two conferences or whatnot?
Power two, Big Ten and SEC.
And it'll be the Super Bowl between the winner of the Big Ten and the winner of the SEC.
Oh, well, I think you'll still see the Big 12 kind of hang around. I know they have some private equity deals going on, so they're
money
a bit, but they won't have as many bids into the playoff as like the Big Ten and the SEC will. And you kind of see it with the way they're moving with the committee and the conferences as well. Like they were talking about more automatic bids, even for this year for SEC or even Big Ten. So it's all right in front there. The how do you say it? The writing's on the wall. Let's see. Jet 305 said here, Gio's going to be $300 richer in the offseason once JoJo balls out the rest of this year. If you know, you know. Oh, so that's from a group chat. Mando saw that. So there's
I missed that. I missed that actually.
So there's a fan in a group chat that said, well, I expect JoJo to transfer at the end of the year. JoJo Trader. And I said, I don't think that's going to happen. And he's like, no, I'm so sure. And I'm like, well, if you're so sure about it, how about we put some money on this? So I told him, I said, there's about 90-something witnesses in this group chat. I said, $300 down on it that JoJo Trader will still be on this team next season.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, because he was super sure of it. He said, oh, no, he's going to transfer and he's hurt and this and that. And I said, we're only 2 games into the season. Like this, it's a long season.
I know. Everybody's myopic. They go ahead. It's like, when you lose a game in a playoff series, it's like, oh, are they going to come back? They lost the first game of a series, in professional sports or so. Everybody looks at the immediate thing. It's like 2 games of the season. So much can change. Some teams, maybe a team could be 0-2 and still finish 10-2. Last year we counted Alabama out too, if I recall. Didn't they lose early? And everyone said Alabama's not good. And then all of a sudden they're like, what's Alabama trying to? They don't deserve to be in the
Oh, when they lost the Vanderbilt game, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So it's a long season. It's all about. This is where coaching comes in. It's adjustments. Like we're saying the Alabama coach. It's like he may make adjustments. That's what great coaches do. We need Mario to make adjustments. That's what Clemson. They were down in the half. A lot of teams give up and lose. They came back. It's all about adjustments.
Oh, and to your point, and yeah, we're in the top 5 now and all that. But as you saw last season, I mean, yeah, we have to. Things can flip on a dime from one week to the next. So we can't get complacent. Keep playing your game week to week, and hopefully we'll be there at the end.
By the way, Mando, I'll ask you this. Let's say Miami and Florida State are both ranked still top 10 going into October 4th. And let's say if hypothetically Miami wins that on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I looked this up the other day. The last time Miami was ranked number 1 in the country, you have to go back to, I believe it was 2002 from what I saw. 2002. That was the last.
I was wondering that if it was 2002 or 2003. We got to number 2, right, a couple of times. Like the basketball team got to 2, and but number 1 would be spectacular. But Ohio State still keeps that honor, I think. If
could you guys see them pushing Miami into number 1, considering that they'll have a ranked win over a top 10 team in Notre Dame, they'll have a ranked win over a top 25 team in USF,
right,
and another top 10 victory over Florida State. All within like the first half of the season, like 5 games in. Well, I think they make a compelling case to be number 1.
I'm not quite sure when they play. I guess that would be a big factor to answer your question. But I know Ohio State plays Penn State. So if Ohio State beats Penn State, they're the defending champs. I don't
And they
see
already beat
anybody.
the number one
Oh,
team in the
number one.
country.
Right,
Yeah.
Ohio
They beat
State's
the
not going to
number
get
one team in
overtaken
the
by
country.
anybody being the defending. Now, if Penn State beats Ohio State, then you could probably make more of a Miami push there. But if it's Ohio State, I don't see anybody
I think
overtaking
it's been very
them.
difficult for us to get to.
Yeah.
But you know what? It doesn't matter. But it would be nice to just be one.
No, but
that was the whole season. We want to go on one of those runs. For the last 37 weeks, Miami's been number one.
Just to even have that question asked is like amazing. So
That's great.
It's awesome to even have the discussion. To be honest with you,
I agree. The Jet says PSU will beat OSU this year.
I've been saying from the beginning.
Here.
I've been saying since before the year. If Penn State's ever going to do it,
This is the year.
Season. Their roster is stacked. Penn State. It's now or never for Penn State. Pretty much.
I don't think Aller is that good of a quarterback, though.
No, I don't either. But they're strong running backs. They got most of their guys back.
Ohio State's got a very strong defense as well. That's the thing. Ohio State's defense was strong last year. Strong. They shut down the generational runner that we shut down this year, right?
Yeah, they did.
Did Notre Dame play this week or they had a bye?
Notre Dame.
No, they won, didn't they?
How did he rush?
Hold on, let me check.
How did their 1-2 punch run?
I thought they played.
Good point. Vegas can. I think we'd also need Oregon to take an L too. I agree on that.
Oregon hasn't played nobody,
well.
but Oregon's putting up points, but they haven't really played anybody.
They look good early on.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame was on a bye week last week. So
okay, bye week.
Week 2.
Listen, the fact that we are being talked about with all of these teams. Raymond says they don't play till 11-1. Ohio State and Penn State. The fact that we're talking about Miami, Ohio, we only played 2 games. Miami, are as good as we get ranked higher than PSU, OSU, Oregon. Let's just, but it's a great thing to talk about. Getting to number 1 would just be a great feeling.
Oh, so he said they play in November?
11-1. They usually play late, too.
Okay.
And then, all right, so we're ranked number 5. We're 6th in the AP. Weren't we 5 in the AP last week?
Yeah, no. So Miami's 5 in the AP, 6 in the coaches poll.
Okay.
Let's see here. Jet 305. A couple of comments on Beck actually here. Jet 305 said Dolphins would ruin Beck. Vegas Kane said Dolphins have an owner problem.
Dolphins taking it straight here.
Yes.
And Hunter said here, I'd trade Tua for Beck. Yeah. But Brett, you got credit here. Jet 305 said Tua is undefeated against the Pats. You are correct, good sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, he's played very well. He did well against Belichick. I think the Dolphins come out and win that game. And if they get blown out, I'd say McDaniel's gone. But I do believe Dolphins are -4.5, I think, in that game. I like the Dolphins in that game.
McDaniel's on the clock. McDaniel's definitely on the clock.
By the way, these two, we've just got for the first time, we've had the straight out of shirt in, which is one of our best sellers. Can you guys see that?
Oh, the straight out of
that's pretty huge for us in orange. But we just got it in white as well. What's this?
Okay.
And we got it in green too now. We got white and green. So a lot of cool shirts. A lot of great things happening at CanesWear. Tomorrow, again, if you're in the area, you can come meet. There's no ticket or anything needed to meet them. Willis McGahee and Mando, if you're in the area, Willis McGahee and Brian McKinney.
Nice.
And if you want an autograph ticket from them for $25, you can get them each to sign. We'll have pictures there you can buy, helmets. And if you get them to sign, it's $25 that is going to the Dolphins Challenge Cancer. And obviously, it's the big week leading up to USF. We got the cool shirts there. Lots of cool new items for that in the store right now. CanesWear is going to be jammed on Friday and Saturday, games at 4:00. So get in there, come on in. It's just a fun experience. You go in there, you see players. Like I said, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't even there that early. And Cliff, the former host of the show, until he ditched us. If you're out there, Cliff, we love you. But he says, Brett, Rick Ross is in the store. And I said, Rick Ross is in the store? He says, yes, he's in the store. I said, Rick Ross is in the store. So then I call and they send me a picture. Then it's like Gary Furman's calling me. Devin Hester wants to come in. Can Devin Hester come in? And I said, sure, Devin can come in. He doesn't want to wait in line. I said, okay, just Devin.
He doesn't.
You're a Hall of Fame. We'll bring you in the back door.
Also, he used the Hall of Famer card.
Yeah. Then Trick Daddy was in there. Trick Daddy's in there. So and then Mando was in there, and Gio was in there. We had all the celebrities.
So Vegas.
We're looking for some good writers. If anyone wants to write for the, if we have good writers, we're going to have to, Gio, Mando. We're looking for the new CanesWear app, which we just rolled out. We want it to be interactive, so we are going to definitely, Gio, you don't know it yet, but you're going to have to write a couple of stories a week. We need stories, and we're going to be doing other things, fun things on there, so people actually go to the app, read different things that we have nowhere else, play games, other things. So we're really excited about that app. So download that app in the App Store for iOS or the Android store. You go to the CanesWear.com app and you can download it. You can see everything on there. We're going to be doing lots of fun things. It's the first time we've had an app, so we're really excited about it. So please, everybody that's listening to this, download the app. We're going to have really cool specials, notifications on that. So keep your notifications on. Lots of fun things we're going to do with that app. That was my goal. 15 years in business. We're coming out with that. We're really excited. If you're Panther fans, guys, we got you can buy tickets for the Panther Stanley Cup Champions, which open up, I think, in like 3 weeks already. We've got Sergei Bobrovsky coming on the 21st of September, the day after the Gator game. Then we have Sam Bennett on the same day after that. And then we got Matthew Tkachuk on the 8th. And we are talking to Malachi Tony as well about coming in. So a lot of fun things going to be happening at CanesWear.
That Malachi Tony one.
Yeah, we're trying to get that. I don't have that one set up, so don't spread that rumor yet. I'm going where?
So, Vegas Kane said here, yep, it's called The Rock, and The Rock is Alcatraz.
That is true. That is so true. That, I don't know. We got to figure something out there.
Vegas Kane also said should be in the Big Ten over SEC because the SEC, other than Vanderbilt, is a huge step down in academic ranking. That's very true, and that is being weighted in terms of future decisions as well. Miami fits in
pretty good school. Florida now is a good school. Alabama, I think, is a much better school. But you're right. But I don't think we can go to the SEC, right? Florida won't let us. Isn't that part of the rule that they are in?
Yeah, and that because Florida has really strong. The SEC has a strong hold on that southern market, having Florida and Georgia already in their conference.
But they'll take FSU.
SEC, I doubt it.
So FSU and Miami are going to go to the Big Ten.
Very likely, you'll see.
We're going to bring Virginia Tech and Syracuse again too, since we dragged them around.
I don't know. From when I've asked before, that there hasn't been a lot of discussion about Virginia Tech as a big player in terms of conference realignment. We'll see what happens with them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're officially tomorrow.
Pittsburgh is a big one for the Big Ten, though. They would love
Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh-Penn State was always a great rivalry, but that's two teams that share marketplaces. I remember growing up, Pittsburgh-Penn State was a great rivalry. Of course. So we're tomorrow, guys. Now we are officially entered tomorrow. Congratulations! This is a 2-day podcast.
All right, this is the first.
Vladdy Garcia says, "I'm cheering Notre Dame to beat A&M." Yeah, strength of schedule like this.
Yes, every team we beat, we want. Correct, Gio.
That's interesting because I don't think I've cheered for Notre Dame once in my entire life. Oh man,
I kind of rooted for that. My wife likes Ohio State because she's from there, but I was kind of rooting for them last year to win it all. Don't say anything to my wife. Of course.
So Jet 305 said here, CanesWear, the only place you should go to for your South Florida team needs, simply the best. Yes. Go to CanesWear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida, the place where all Miami fans shop. And Blue mentioned here just downloaded the new CanesWear app.
Awesome, Blue. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you, Blue. Jet 305, thank you for the kind words. I'll tell you one thing, guys, is we have the best. I mean, it's like CanesWear family or a small little business. People think we're much bigger than we are. A small little business, been around for 15 years. People come in. Jeff runs the store now. I'm there. Ken's there. I mean, people, we know each other. John's there. We talk sports. People know names. You don't get that anymore. I always thought we were like a little bit of Andy Griffith, and Mayberry RFD, and something like that. You come in there. We got Aunt B. Everyone is there.
You just said Andy Griffith, and Gio's like, who? Andy who?
I know. Opie.
These youngins, I tell you.
He's only 31. Yeah, you're right. He's not like we have like small. You got young, almost as young, and old.
I actually like this comment from Aaron Frazier. He said Miami has a lot of history against certain base Big Ten schools like Nebraska, Ohio State, and Penn State. That's very true. The state of Florida is the biggest prize left for the Big Ten with Miami and FSU. Very, very true. And
that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Let's see.
Yeah, I got a couple minutes left, guys. I got to be up at 5 in the morning.
Right.
I got a couple minutes left.
Read a few more and.
Vegas Kane said he's originally from Hawaii, but attended UM from 87 to 1990.
Wow.
Who's this?
So you got 2 championships. 87 and 90, you got 2 championships. If we would have stayed one more year, you would have got 3. Could have been a Leon Searcy.
Wow.
So we're actually on the last comments here, the last few. Aaron Frazier said, guys, Chicago has a lot of Miami alums. Yes, that's very true.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why they do a lot of alumni dinners actually out there. I was at the 2012 Miami versus Notre Dame game at Soldier Field. That was the Philip Dorsett game when he dropped.
Philip and his family were like stars that we had as customers in the warehouse. They would always come by. His aunt and uncle, grandpa, they were always in there. And Philip had the 2 drops, right? The big drop and we would have taken the lead. But Philip got to be the first-round draft pick in the NFL. You can't beat that.
So Muhammad Hussein shares here. It's true. Every time I come in, I ask for you, Brett, and give you a big hug for old time's sake. My favorite store. Awesome,
Muhammad. Appreciate that more than you know. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. That's what we're building. I like to say CanesWear is not just not just a store and its experience, but now I'm thinking CanesWear where family comes together.
Yep. And last 2 comments, Jet305 said, Mando is a trooper. Salute to you, good sir.
He is definitely. Mando is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I got to be up at 6 too. Actually, my kids will wake up. They'll wake me up. So
I'm actually a morning person, and I know some people don't like. My wife is not a morning person. Like I'm up early every day.
We see we see your posts on X.
Bro, you just give me one Dunkin' cup of coffee, and I'm
Dunkin'. Vegas Kane says he thought that Not South Florida is a cool shirt. Yes, I like that shirt. Is a cool shirt, and they got some cool shirts there. So, guys, you were great today. First of all, the audience, the team, the family, the CanesWear family really brought it today. The questions, the comments were phenomenal. Feels like there were 500 of them today. When we started this yesterday.
I checked the numbers here between the 2 streams. It's like YouTube and X and everything. It's almost 3,000 people that showed up tonight.
All right, that's awesome.
Late night crew, like super late Wednesday night. But thank you everyone for coming out.
We officially have the latest podcast possible because we're after midnight.
Yeah,
you can't be any later than us. This is the so we had a nice following. Bobby, you don't see Bobby's numbers also, do you?
I can't see it from my end, no.
Okay, or mine. So that's cool that we so probably he gets a lot of followers. Mondo's got followers. So glad everybody got to see. But on Gio's page 3,000, that's awesome. So Mando, tell anybody anything you got planned, any big things happening, where to find you?
No, actually I go to all the games. Actually, this weekend I won't be at the game. I'm going to be out of town, but I'll be watching regardless. But I'll be back in town actually Monday. But I'm on X at Lakers Canes 305. I'm always chopping it up with Gio and you and everybody. And I think we're in the midst of something special this season, guys. Gio is out there the whole year with them and the recruiting, and it's nice when you win a title and like let's say the Marlins when they got players and But this is like built from like down here. As I was at the stadium 4 years ago, and FSU killed us like 50-0 or whatever the hell the score was. A lot of like you mentioned McAfee and a lot of analysts, they're mentioning Miami's serious right now. Miami's got, regardless of what happens the rest of the way, they are now in the national discussion again, and it does feel good. I'll say that.
That's a beautiful thing. Happy birthday to Hurricane Pope. I spent his birthday with his brothers. Go Canes. Thank you, Hurricane Pope. Happy birthday to you. And we appreciate you checking in on your birthday. If it was yesterday or today, either way, happy birthday.
Happy
Vegas
birthday.
Kane gives us the high five. I've actually never seen a high five like that. That's kind of cool. That actually may not be a bad shirt. 5 rings. I like it. Gio, where can they find you?
Everyone can find me on X at Gio Milian, also on Instagram as well. You can also find me on here on the CanesWear podcast. Every Wednesday night, I am on here. Rain or shine, I will be here. And got my weekly show that I do with Amon Richards called Who Wants Smoke. You can find it on YouTube. We made the way to look it up really easy now. You can just put youtube.com/@CanesSmoke. You can find it right on there. Or I'm also on with Comics on Canes with Michael Yo every week. Sometimes Locked on Canes with Alex Dono and 560 WQAM. Or also, they're on FM now, 104.3. I was on there this Monday evening with Larry Bluestein. We were talking a little bit about the Hurricanes ahead of this USF matchup.
Brett, I think you should have asked him, where are you not on?
I was going to say that. I was going to say that, Mando. We got two minds with one thought. The Gio is everywhere, which is great. Because we know Gio knows ball. All right. That'll be the new show, Gio Knows Ball. And thank you, guys. And, of course, I'm at CanesWear. You can find me on X. You can Canes_wear. You can find me on Instagram, CanesWear, Facebook, Brett Mitchell or CanesWear, and obviously at CanesWear. Excited, looking forward to seeing everybody at the store soon. Tell a friend about us. Love when new people love our amazing fans, and then sometimes people come in the first time and like, wow, they think it's like Disney World. They start looking around and they're like, holy mackerel. They don't know where to start. You can see like, where do I go first? So I remember when Mando came in that first time. When Ricky sent them in. So I said, wow.
I saw him at the game Saturday. He was at the game
Saturday. Good. I love Ricky's thing. So anyway, CanesWear.com. Remember, this is the FTSN network. Bobby and the crew do a great job. Follow them, like them, especially if you're a Dolphin fan. They do all different kinds of shows. So subscribe to them, like and follow. Join Gio's special podcast. Join his special groups. And we're excited to be part of the Canes family. And thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Go Canes. Go Canes.
All right. Go Canes.